show, so we're going to get you on as soon as possible, okay? Hold on.
Hey. See how that camera angle looks now.
Okay. Looks good. I don't know how many seconds off it is. I'm gonna go grab him a water. Oh, he's got one. Perfect. Let's see how it looks.
Hi, is this Betty?
After you've moved it a little.
Hi, Betty. My name's Kelly. I'm calling from the Tom Martino Troubleshooter Show, and you have called us regarding an issue you're having with CenturyLink. Perfect. We're just about ready to start the show, so I have an open line. Would you like to go on with Mark and talk about it?
Just back your way a little bit. It was fine how it was.
Okay, perfect. Hang on for me, okay?
Oh, give me a piece of paper, babe.
After I moved it. Yeah, that's better. Assure you it.
Is Tom on vacation?
What?
Is Tom on vacation?
Yeah.
In Hawaii?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Martinez for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, Sundays at 7 a.m. or 3 p.m.
A luxury
Hey, Chris. It's Kelly.
bear video. Our neighbor. That's weird. I got a weird. Oh, hey, Shannon.
Got an open line. Wanted to know if you're all ready.
Switchblade 4 is where the audio is, please. Is that what I'm hearing is your phone?
Okay. All right.
Is that what I'm hearing is your phone?
Okay. Hold on.
I'm hearing is your phone. Is that what I'm hearing is your phone? Is that what I'm hearing is your phone? Is that what I'm hearing is your phone? Is that what I'm hearing is your phone?
The offline button. And then when we're in program, hit.
Denver's talk station has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, cash. That's cash. Enter it now at khow.com. Inflation salvation on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. We're here to make your life just a little bit better. Talk about a video. I'm watching a video right now, and I'll put it up on our YouTube later. But our neighbor had a black bear visit them last night. They've got one of those wildlife cams. It's pretty shocking. This bear goes up, they're big waste management, 90-gallon cans, I assume, but kind of quietly, methodically brings it a little away from the house. It's right up next to their house. And by the way, it shouldn't be. I need to have a talk with Kim over there. I mean, they shouldn't be out there. It attracts mountain lions. We've seen mountain lions over there, but this bear comes up, stands up. It's not a huge bear, probably mid-sized bear, if there's such a thing, like Boo Boo Bear, and starts dragging the can back by the wheels, almost like they're pushing it, then methodically and quietly knocks it down and starts eating. And this is this is right next to our house. We have dogs and everything. I can't believe bears make it from the mountains down to Franktown. Now, I've known they've been out there for a while, but now we're starting to see them on the Facebook, the neighborhood Facebook page. Neighbors are sending us videos all the time. And the mountain lions, forget about the bobcats, are absolutely insane. Let me tell you what the show's about, though. The show's about helping you. You've been ripped off or taken advantage of. We go after the bad guys. We like exposing the people that are making your life miserable. We've recouped over $300 million in cash, merchandise, exchanges, and refunds directly due to this show. So if you have someone you want to expose or need help trying to get money back, maybe from a contractor that never showed up, never did any work, or maybe you just need advice on buying a car or what shop to go to. And today is a great day to call in if you have any questions on estate planning. And I mean any questions whatsoever. Maybe you have never done a will and you have children and you're curious what there is. What is a trust? What is a will? Anything you can think of. I mean, honest to goodness, if you think about it, everybody, and I mean everybody, should have a will. Unless, Dan McKenzie with the McKenzie Law Firm, can you think of anybody that doesn't need a will? Maybe someone 18 and homeless? I mean, honestly, besides that, if you have any assets or anything you want to pass down, I mean, who doesn't need a will? Is there such thing?
I mean, there are rules in place if you don't have a will, which obviously a lot of people rely on because they don't have wills. A majority of people end up not doing it, but
Well, hold on. That's an interesting statement. How many people out of 100 would you say do not have wills?
I mean, the estimate is 70.
70?
Yeah.
70 out of 100 people?
Right.
Oh, my goodness. That seems crazy. Suzanne and I, when we had no money or anything, but the second we had kids, we had a will. Yeah, because who would take the kids? Who do kids go to if they don't have a will? Young couple killed in a car wreck and a little baby. I mean, who does it go to?
I mean, it's completely up to a court to determine who the guardian is, and you can't predict it, frankly.
That is absolutely crazy. Any questions you have on that, I'll always let you know when there's a line open. We have an interesting call I'm going to bring up first. Chris called yesterday. I'm going to recap this. And Dan, please chime in on anything. Just being an attorney, you don't have to necessarily give legal advice on things that you're not comfortable with, but I would like you to chime in. I find this extremely interesting. And then, Chris, I'm going to get the rest of the story from you in a second. The guy buys tickets to Mexico. You got to have a passport to go to Mexico now. His family, his kids go. There's either 3 or 4 of them, whatever it is. The day before, you know how you can check in online on most airlines? He checks in online, and the passport does not match what he put on the airline ticket. Now, he says the reason it doesn't is United Airlines, when you go onto their website to buy the ticket, you can't put an apostrophe. In his last name, I don't think it's O'Malley, but it has an apostrophe in it. So he did it the only way the site would allow him to do it. Now, Chris, what I never found out is we know you ended up going to Mexico. We know you ended up coming back. What I want to know is, what did United do? Did they charge you to change it? Did you have to buy another ticket? What transpired?
Well, I'll summarize this for you. After contacting the customer service, they told me that I had to entirely redo my reservation, starting from scratch and ensuring the precise spelling of the names, including my own, as they appear on our U.S. passports.
Okay.
I proposed a simple solution of them adjusting the names on the tickets to match our passports, but alas, that was not an option
Okay,
according
but
to
did
their
they
policies.
did they charge you to go in and redo the reservation?
Yeah.
And what
Yeah,
did they
I'm
charge
getting
you?
to
How much?
Okay. So what it turned out to be is if a change of name for the ticket costs $200 per traveler. So there's 3 of us, so that's $600.
Wait a minute. So everybody's, of course, you all have the same last name. So they charge you $200 a piece to modify. Is that the total they charged you?
No. Get this. The fare that I paid in September of 2022 was $3,928.
And now because it's the day before, it's more.
Exactly.
And how much was the
to make
difference?
$1,240.
So you're $1,800 stuck the day before you're leaving to Mexico.
Yep, they said I either have to pay it or I won't be allowed on the plane.
Now, there's a crucial point you made yesterday, and I want to backtrack to that. When you went on and changed the reservation the day before you were going to leave, how did you put the apostrophe in? You told us you couldn't put the apostrophe in. So how did you end up doing that?
Well, first of all, I wasn't even able to check in or get by the where they look at your passport and they have to match it. I didn't even get to that point. So I didn't change my reservation that day, that morning. What happened was I called customer service, told them what was going on,
and they did
then
it.
I found out, and then he goes, "Okay, just pay this money." And I said, "You're kidding me! You're gonna charge me?"
But Chris, you're not answering the question. How did you do it, or did the rep do it?
The rep, the customer service person.
So
did it.
over the phone, they recreated the reservation for $200 a piece, put the apostrophe in. Did you bring up to him, how was I supposed to do this? You can't even put an apostrophe in.
That's what I said to him. On your website, you don't allow apostrophes.
And what did he
in a
say?
name. He said, "Well, that's our policy."
Okay, hold on, man. Hold on a second. Hold on. I find this outrageous. Now, what I'd like to do during the break, I don't know, Scott, if you can pull this off. You don't even seem to have a laptop or anything. What I want to know is if you go on to United and do a reservation, can you put an apostrophe in or not? Because if you can't put an apostrophe in, I am so on this guy's side, and I'll haunt United. This is insane. We very rarely get calls on United. A lot, if we do, they're weather-related, and I'm not saying they're golden by any means, but we just don't get them. Not like Frontier, not like Spirit, not like the other airlines. We don't get them. If you can't put an apostrophe in when you create a reservation, I see no reason in the world why they would charge these people. I don't even get it. I find it hard to believe. I'm going to try to figure that out during the break. Hold tight. By the way, James Roger Betty, you're up next.
When it comes to plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains, I know who I turn to. Plumline Services, with great brands like Carrier, serving Colorado since '98 from Castle Rock to Longmont. Along with Carrier, plum crazy service and pricing. Plumline and Carrier. Turn to the experts with the character and excellence to get the job done right. Schedule online at plumlineservices.com. No phone call, no hassle, no wait. Service at home, servants at heart.
Do you need your watch repaired? Hi, I'm Scott Matthew with Matthew's Fine Watches and Jewelry. As the largest watch repair center in Colorado, we are factory authorized for most brands. We are excited to announce that we are now the authorized service center for Jaeger-LeCoultre and Panerai. As always, we service all major brands. Just to name a few, Rolex, Cartier, Tag Heuer, and many more. Matthews, we have time for you.
Matthews Fine Watches and Jewelry, located in the Highlands Ranch Town Center, or online at matthewsfinewatches.com.
You know, Mark Massey was in yesterday. He owns Empower Reverse Mortgage. He got a lot of calls yesterday, people with questions. What I love about Mark is if a reverse mortgage isn't right for you, he's going to be the first to tell you. We actually discussed that yesterday. Imagine that, an honest person, an honest company that sells reverse mortgages. You know, everybody and their mother, every retired actor in the world sells these things. You want someone local. You want someone that understands it. You want someone on your side that can explain it. That's Empower Reverse Mortgage. Call up Mark Massey, the owner, 720-500-7719, 720-500-7719. There's a lot of puzzle pieces when it comes to retirement. It's not just what stock should I invest in or when should I take money out. There's so many different pieces to it. And what I love about Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies, they call it the 5 pillars. They talk about the income stream. They talk about the investment, what to invest in. They talk about the tax ramifications. How about if you have a SEP, for example, and money you pull out isn't taxed, but you also have a 401k from a company? Where should you pull the money out first? How about the healthcare part of it? And then, of course, the legacy. How do I leave? What do I want to leave? And where do I want to leave it? These guys will go over everything. They'll bring you from that transition from the working man or the working woman to retirement. They're great people. They sit down, individual plans, 970-663-3211 or rpcenter.com. What do you think about that, Dan, that whole United thing? Let's say you literally can't put in the apostrophe.
I mean, I've had employees who had like last names that were broken, into 2 spaces, and yeah, it causes a lot of problems with the computers. But obviously, I think it's United's.
It's
problem.
United's fault.
Yeah, to solve.
It's crazy, and then they charge them $1,800. Scott, can you put it in?
Well, I'm on the app, so it thinks it's me.
Okay.
Let me just go to the website.
Don't have too much.
Hey, I wonder where O'Malley flew to. He just flew somewhere. I wonder if he flew United. That'd be crazy.
I have a YouTube question for Dan. Do you want me to just sort of butt in at some point?
Yeah. It's crazy, United. I mean, I got to go figure it out myself, I guess. Let's see, United Airlines. Book now. I'm just going to pick a one-way flight.
See, it keeps taking me in my app.
Now I'm going from Denver to... Where do we want to go? Let's go to Las Vegas.
See if you can book a flight with Prince's old symbol.
Now I'm going to go find flights. I'm going to fly economy.
How does that work? That's a really good...
He owned his own
Boom.
plane.
Here we go. Round trip, $188.
Nice.
That's pretty cheap, actually.
Artist
Boom, boom,
formerly
boom.
known as-
Okay, I'll take this. Economy, bam. Okay, now what?
What if you have
Continue.
like a...
Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
Like
work
if you
week. How
get
should I
knighted
prepare
and you have a sir in
Now
front of
what?
your name.
Okay, this is fine.
Right.
I don't even care. Let's get to the apostrophe.
But
Let's
your
get... Here we go.
passport doesn't
Traveler's
necessarily
information. Mark
reflect that.
O'Malley. Whoops. Yep, look at that. You hit, honest to God, please only use 26 English letters, A to Z, and hyphens. Absolutely no apostrophe. Look at that. This is complete and utter bullshit. How can they possibly charge him for this kind of problem? This is nuts. You cannot put an apostrophe there. Simply will not let you. United sucks. Do we have a United Angel?
I'll have to look.
We've got to find
If
someone
not,
at United.
Smarty Marty can get through on this one.
How can they even do this?
Let me see if I have a United Angel.
Oh my God. Sure enough.
United.
Chris,
Uh-oh.
Chris, I thought you were insane, but you're not, brother.
Thanks so much for
Yeah,
calling
we
the
might
Tom
have an
Martino
angel,
Show.
huh? Let's see here. Let me look this person.
I can't believe it.
United Airlines Angel.
Station 630 KHOW.
You know, I am absolutely upset. On top of being upset, I'm flustered. I can think of 100 things I am. Chris is 100% right. I just went on personally to United's site. I picked out a flight, round trip, blah, 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 passenger information. Listen to this. Passenger information, you cannot use an apostrophe. You can't use it. I tried to put in O'Malley. It flags you instantly. Chris, I am so on your side with this. I can't tell you how ridiculous this is. Why they would charge you when they don't even allow you to do it is beyond me. What did they say to you when you brought this up?
Well, I was very upset with the customer service agent, and he knew it.
Yeah.
And he told me about what charges. So $200 per traveler plus the change in fare, which was $1,240. So he goes, well, wait a minute. Let me talk to my manager for a second. Goes away, comes back, and he said, we're willing to waive the $200 per traveler.
So did he waive it?
Yes.
Okay, well, I wish you told me that before, but they still charge you the difference in fare.
Yeah, which is $1,240.
Yeah, I got you. $1,200 more because their system will not let you spell your last name. I find it crazy. It says you can use the alphabet or a hyphen is the only other thing you could use on there, and that's crazy. There is so many people with an apostrophe in their name. I can't believe it. Don McKenzie, not necessarily legal advice, but what do you think here? What would you do?
It definitely seems, some sort of misleading. I can't think of a legal issue here, but certainly a customer service issue. And I don't know. I
don't see how it's his fault any which way.
Yeah.
No way. Here's what I would say, Chris. First of all, I know for a fact, I do know this for a fact, Dan, that if he took him to small claims court, he would win. I'm sure of it. Yep. He would have no problem in small claims court. Yeah. Suzanne, did you find an angel we had there? I thought we did.
It looks like we might have one. I'll reach out for Chris later today.
Chris, we're going to reach out to our angel and figure this out. But Suzanne, when you do reach out, I want to know in general, not just on behalf of Chris, but if you could put your last name in there because their website doesn't allow you to, and you have to change your ticket, why the hell would anybody have to pay a change fee? I mean, is this really United's policy? I would love for someone that worked for United. I knew a pilot that retired from there, but that was 10 years ago. This is crazy to me. I can't believe United is now on my can't believe this is a real thing with an airline list. This is crazy, man. Chris, we have all your information. I want you to just chill, man. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And then if you need some help with the small claims, if we have to go that way, I don't mind helping you. I'm not an attorney. It won't be legal advice, but I can show you where the paperwork is and answer some questions, general questions. All right, man?
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
You got it. I'm dying to get back with you on this. I think United will do the right thing. I don't know. I can't imagine they're hard up for cash. I mean, is that what's going on? Is United really hard up? I mean, every flight seems to be booked everywhere. No one can take off on time. Yeah, the airlines are absolutely a mess. Every single one of them. Every single one of them is a mess right now. The FAA is a mess, is my understanding. Just transportation in general. And think of this. Think of this as a side note. You think things are tough right now? You think things are tough when it comes to supply chain? You just wait for UPS to go on strike. Just wait. If these guys go on strike, it is going to be an interruption from hell. We're not going to catch up with it for a long time. I bet billions of dollars a day, if not more, in lost revenue. Imagine no Amazon packages.
Christmas is right around the corner, Mark.
Christmas is coming up. And what happens is their pilots will stop. I mean, when they go on strike, I don't think they're doing anything. I mean, I don't know if their pilots are part of that union. I don't know the makeup of it, but I think they're going to end up going on strike. And it's just like the actors, the Writers Guild, the Actors Guild, they're on strike right now. I think they're going to kill themselves. And here's why. And this is a side note, and then I'm going to go to James with a dental issue. But think about this. Right now, everything is ceased. All these shows we watch on Prime, all these shows on Amazon, Netflix, all this stuff, none of it's being filmed right now. When all the new shows come out, coming to the fall and coming into next year, guess what? There's going to be nothing. So what's going to happen? The first thing you're going to do is go, why the hell am I paying $15 a month for Netflix? Why am I paying this for Prime? Why am I paying this for Peacock? All these things people have. Why would you pay them if there's nothing new? You can watch reruns virtually anywhere. So people are going to drop. Then what's going to happen is there's not going to be money there for Netflix, and I'm going to use them just as an example, because their income, their stream revenue is going to go down because they're losing subscribers. What happens then? Then they got to cut back on production because they don't have all that money coming in when the strike's over to actually go out and build good stuff. It's really remarkable that people are shooting themselves in the foot. Now, I don't know what side I fall on. I'm going to bring Dan McKenzie into this. Just purely your thoughts on it, Dan. I know you probably don't know that much on the strike, what they're asking for. I know one of the big parts is AI. And to me, that would be a big part. If I could go in and make $100 an hour or whatever they get paid as an extra, and they film me one time, and they can use my likeness in any crowd, in any movie, in anything for the rest of my life without compensation, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and even if it's not your likeness, it's like if you contributed to it somehow, right? I mean, we don't even know what we've put out there that the AI systems have taken in and are using as the basis for
probably
what they're producing.
Everything.
Yeah, anything you've posted on Reddit, if you use that.
Well, think of this. I sit here and talk, for the last 10 years. If they went out just to our YouTube channel, you type in Troubleshooter, you can see us live during the breaks and see us and hear us. But listen, man, they have, I don't even know what that sampling would be. Thousands upon thousands of hours of Tom and I discussing stuff. I guarantee those computers not only can recreate our voice, that's nothing.
Yeah.
They can recreate our mannerism.
Yeah.
They can recreate the grammar I use.
Yeah.
They can literally become me. Now, I'm not saying it's to that point right now, but if it's not, that's like right around the corner, man.
Are you aware of the perpetual debate between Trump and Biden that's going on Twitch?
No, is
the
it
Twitch network?
So it's two AI characters?
Yes, that it looks like them, and they're going back and forth, and
is
Biden
it their
says
mannerism?
it's malarkey, and all that kind of stuff, and they're responding to comments that are being made on the Twitch stream. And
does it seem real?
Yeah.
Or is it a total?
I mean, every once in a while there's a glitch in the video that it disappears for a second, comes back.
That's unbelievable.
And they're swearing all over the place, so it's
you know
what
scares me? Just saying that, what really scares me is deep fake stuff. I mean, it's to the point now where, you can create a deep fake video of your competition, of anything. It doesn't matter. And you could ruin someone's life.
Yeah.
I mean, you have someone deep faked as, doing something with a child, for example. It could ruin his life or her life. Yeah. And it's completely fake. And there's no way, it's almost impossible to walk stuff back.
Yeah.
I mean, once it's out of the box, it's out of the box. True or false.
Yeah.
Man, AI is a scary deal. I heard in your industry, not necessarily attorneys, but paralegals might be the thing of the past, man. There might not be any, I'm not talking about answering the phones and stuff. I'm talking about, I need you to prepare this for me, then you look over it. You might not need to pay for that anymore. That might be software you got.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what we do is kind of reading and summarizing a lot of documents, and that's kind of what AI is most
It's crazy. 303-713-8255. James, I got to take a break, but give me a real quick scenario on this dental issue.
It had 5 incidents. I'd gone in and I just needed like a checkup, and ended up with an assistant drilling out a bunch of healthy teeth. And
okay, hold on. That's crazy. He's saying that he's gone in numerous times for a cleaning, and they're drilling out healthy teeth. I can't imagine why any dentist would do that in a million years, but we're going to find out. We've got one line open, 303-MARTINO, 303-713-8255. You've been ripped off or taken advantage of. I want to hear from you right now.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Discover.
Some normal slowdowns throughout the Denver Metro for this Tuesday mid-morning commute. I-25 southbound are seeing speeds in the 40s and 50s between I-70 and Spear Boulevard. Just east of there, I-70 westbound road construction continues approaching York. We're seeing some slow traffic back from Colorado Boulevard. On the northeast end of town through Commerce City, no surprises here. I-270 westbound stop and go between I-70 and Vasquez. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, fair skies out there. We are expecting some clouds to roll in with isolated thunderstorms later this afternoon. Another hot one, high of 94 degrees. We're going to see temperatures cool throughout the rest of the week. Tomorrow, high of 87 with more scattered thunderstorms. The current temperature in Denver is 89 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right, everything you earned doubled. The cash back from trips, restaurants, all doubled. Seriously, though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Imagine having a paycheck for life. If you're thinking about offsetting, or not offsetting, but creating more income besides just your Social Security or pension, or maybe you got a 401k, why don't you think of some of the annuities out there? And if you're in your 50s, now's the time to do it. You let that thing sit for 10 years, you could have an extra $3, $4, $5, $10,000 a month till the day you die. I want you to go to mymoneymyway.com. mymoneymyway.com. Joe and Jordan will talk to you over the phone. They can do a webinar. They're fiduciaries, so these guys make sure whatever they do, it's right for you. They'll explain everything. Check them out, mymoneymyway.com. Now, alcohol and substance abuse can create so many issues in a family. It doesn't matter if it's a teenage kid you have or a spouse. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction of any kind, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, or even deep depression, the folks at the Raleigh House can help. 720-891-4657. The first thing's a phone call. Call them up, talk to them. There's no cost to it. 720-891-4657.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost effectively. Across radio, digital.
There you go, Shannon. Go ahead.
Should I have it on or off?
Right now, I put it in offline, but do not use the mic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, always ready to talk about the value of trust, for people. I'm
going to bring up the look-back period, too.
For Medicaid?
Yeah.
And somebody, a YouTubey Mark, has a question.
Cool. It's a simple question. I cannot believe this United.
Shannon, did you have a nice vacay? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Shannon?
I don't even see him.
I see his hat or something.
There's lots of articles about it.
Lots of articles on what?
The hyphens and...
What are they saying? What are you reading about?
Well, it's a known problem. In fact, it's all airlines, not just United. I don't know. I'm just reading a story right now. Give me a second.
Mark, in-house.
I got to do the ideal makeup. Shannon, did you have us up on YouTube? We can't hear you, can't hear Kelly. What do you got cooking, brother?
What would you like me to do?
Have us up and we can hear you guys.
What's that? I didn't have you in queue. What?
I said hello, hello.
Yeah.
Have your mic up.
Did you have a nice vacation?
No, ma'am.
Oh.
Why not?
Poor choices. Got our rental vehicle stuck a few times.
Oh, my God.
Cost hundreds of dollars.
What kind of vehicle was it?
Big-ass Dodge van.
And you got it stuck?
Yep.
How about that new covered parking lot out back?
Yeah, for other people.
Oh, it's not for us?
Nope.
Oh, who's it for?
We don't know.
Global?
I don't know if it's the travel agency or the trans people that own the building.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because we're owned now by Transwest.
I'll tell you this, if it starts hailing, I'm getting my ass under there.
They've had an issue with that, and JoJo sends out emails saying, move your car now.
Really?
Uh-huh. But I was talking to Robin Hart about it. I said, am I envious of the covered parking? Sure. Am I still very happy to have one of the top 2 or 3 coolest jobs at a party? Yes.
Yeah. I can't believe that they would put that up unless if Globus paid for that themselves, which
Yeah.
would be crazy.
Why not?
Why wouldn't anybody be able to use it? That's nuts. It's nuts. I wonder what we do if one of our guest parks under it. I guess are you saying we'd get an email?
Possibly, yeah.
Imagine if you got towed.
It's Wyatt's. Their signs are out there now.
Is it Wyatt's?
Yep, I said.
I think they've always had it though, right?
I don't remember seeing it before, but I don't know what made me notice it.
What's the owner's name or the Trevor?
Trevor. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's the nicest hated guy ever.
Yeah, you don't find many tow truck companies that have fans.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
All right, 303-713-8255. We got a couple lines open. You've been ripped off or taken advantage of. Give me something to sink my teeth into. I love getting problems that we can attempt to solve in the same day. Those are my favorite. So Deputy Scott's been looking at some articles. Apparently this is a big problem. The apostrophe, when you do an airline reservation, like if your last name's O'Malley, for example, you can't put the apostrophe in. And United ended up charging Chris, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around this, why they would charge him the difference in fare because they had to rebook him for a flight to Mexico, his wife, his kid, himself, to the tune of $1,200, the difference in airfare, even though it was the exact same trip. The only reason they had to rebook it was because of the apostrophe. And I must say, I cannot believe United would do it. It seems like a move Frontier would attempt. It seems like a move Spirit would attempt. But I always kind of held United up a little higher. They're not a discount airline. And now I'm like, my God, man, they're just as bad as the rest of them. Hopefully Suzanne can get through to our angel and figure out going forward how that works. What are people supposed to do? If anything, why not have something on your website going, if there's an apostrophe in your last name, you got to do this. I mean, you have to give them some warning. It seems absurd to me. And it says right there, as soon as you start typing it in, do not put an apostrophe in. Only use the alphabet or a hyphen. That's it. No other options. By the way, Ideal Home Loans. These guys, of course, are still doing loans. If you need a loan, I'm going to tell you why Ideal would be a great one to use right now. Because when interest rates go down again, guess what? They have the interest rate guarantee, so they're not going to charge you to refi. So I don't know what interest rates are right now, but if they're 7 and a year from now they're down to 4.5 or 5, they're going to refi you for free. There's nothing to lose. So if you get transferred or you've got to buy a bigger house because the baby's on the way, whatever it has to be, if you need a loan, idealhomeloans.com, idealhomeloans.com. Now, 303-713-8255. James says, believe it or not, he goes to the dentist. He's been there. Hey, James, is it the same dentist every time you show up and they're doing a routine cleaning? Is that my understanding? And next thing you know, they're extracting perfectly good teeth? Or what's going on?
Extracting would refer to just pulling the whole thing out. But there are 5 different problems at different points in time involving 2 offices.
What's the most recent problem you've had?
It was a poorly mended job to fix problems that the first assistant had caused.
What did the first assistant cause?
The first assistant was just drilling out existing fillings and healthy teeth, mostly on the.
Well, hold on, James. So I need you to be more specific on this stuff. So there was we'll go to the healthy tooth in a minute, but you had existing old metal fillings, for example, and they had to drill them out and put in ceramic or put in something else?
Well, there had been a variety of materials there.
Okay. So what were they doing? Just pick one tooth. Give me one thing.
Just as one example, I mean, there are, I'm thinking, at least 15 teeth damaged.
How did they damage one tooth? How? Just tell me how. One. Just pick one.
Well, one of them, I had a small pinhole drilled in it from the first dentist, and I had gone to another dentist to have it fixed.
Okay.
He insists that there's no such thing as a material that can be put in there and harden. I've had those types of
To
drillings
fix
before.
to fix the hole that the other person drilled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And yeah, he says those don't exist.
So then what? So then what happened though? Continue one story. So you went to one, they drilled a hole in it. I have no idea why. Then you go to another dentist and you say, hey, fix this. They drilled a pinhole in it, and he says we can't do it. So then what happened?
So and then he says I have to put a crown in. I didn't realize that would destroy 9/10 of the tooth.
Okay.
And
so did they put the crown in?
Yeah, it took them a few weeks to get a new crown made.
That's
And
normal.
they put it in. Yeah, then they put it in and destroyed about half of it.
So they ruined the crown putting it in. Did they redo the crown?
No, it wasn't an issue with how they put it in there. They destroyed half of it after it was placed in there.
That's okay. Stop.
It was.
They put it in that minute when they were done, and adhered it to whatever you had left in your mouth, and created the crown. They basically glued it on what was left. Was it okay for 5 seconds?
Yeah, but
when did it break?
It didn't break at all.
You said they ruined half of it. How did they ruin half of it?
They ruined half of it by drilling it unnecessarily so that it was much shorter than the appropriate length.
So right now, that tooth we're talking about is shorter than the rest of your teeth?
It's about half the length of what it was to begin with.
I want to see a picture of your mouth. Can you send us? If I look at a picture of your mouth, are you going to look like a British dude or what?
Well, most of the damages are on the inside of my teeth, so they're harder to see. But if you were in person, you'd be able to notice that when my jaw's in natural alignment.
So, James, if you went to another dentist and said, "Hey, look at this veneer I have right here." Was it a veneer?
Crown.
Look at this crown I have. Is it normal, or is it broken, or is it improperly? What is another dentist going to say?
Well, one dentist told me that I'm going to need 8 crowns to fix the problems.
So you need you need 8 other crowns to fix the one? I want to really focus in on this one issue. What needs to be done to that one issue?
There's at least 15 damaged teeth. All right, but we'll go back to the one that had the small hole drilled in the first.
Yes, go ahead. That's where I'd like to stay. So you have a small hole drilled in one by somebody. You go to the other one. They said we can't fix it. We've got to do a crown. They do a crown, and somehow they ruin 50% of the crown when they put it in. It's either too short or whatever. So keep going with that one tooth.
Well, it was drilled out so much that it's now only about half the original length. It doesn't have the shape that it used to.
I think you need to just go, what are you trying to achieve here? Have you been to another dentist? I mean, are you looking at a malpractice? What are you calling us for? How can I help you? Maybe I just need to move to that. I mean, I don't know what your teeth were like. You say 15 teeth are ruined. I mean, so none of it was your issue. Your teeth were all great until you started going to the dentist, and now you have 15 ruined teeth, right?
Basically.
And how much did you pay for all the services when you went in and had these issues? How much are you out of pocket?
I don't recall. I think it was mostly on Medicaid at the time.
Okay.
Between jobs.
Yeah, I got you. So are you on Medicaid now, James?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
It didn't need to do. They didn't need to do any work. It was.
So
it
you
was
think,
fine the way it
and
was.
I'm
I
not
went
saying
in
this
for a
never
checkup.
happens, James. I'm not saying this never happens, especially with Medicaid. There are dentists, there's unscrupulous doctors that they see that Medicaid, they see dollar signs, they look at you and say, "Oh, you need this, this, and this," so they can bill Medicaid. Is that what you think went on?
They didn't explain anything on the time on the instance that I went in.
Well,
just for a checkup.
that seems that hold on. I got to take this break. That seems next to impossible, James. Kelly, pick up with him during the break and see if we can't get a picture of his mouth. I would love to see that. We'll put it up. I want to look at it. I want to see how bad his teeth look. He actually said they don't look that bad unless you're next to him. But saying that the dentist wouldn't do anything, or in other words, wouldn't explain anything to you, and suddenly, all of a sudden, you've got none of this makes sense. Hold on.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's BOGO $1 deal.
Some normal slowdowns throughout the Denver Metro for this Tuesday mid-morning commute. I-25 southbound are seeing speeds in the 40s and 50s between I-70 and Spear Boulevard, just east of there. I-70 westbound road construction continues approaching York. We're seeing some slow traffic back from Colorado Boulevard. On the northeast end of town through Commerce City, no surprises here. I-270 westbound stop and go between I-70 and Vasquez. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, fair skies out there. We are expecting some clouds to roll in with isolated thunderstorms later this afternoon. Another hot one, high of 94 degrees. We're going to see temperatures cool throughout the rest of the week. Tomorrow, high of 87 with more scattered thunderstorms. The current temperature in Denver is 89 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Wendy's BOGO $1 deal is back at participating Wendy's. Buy a Dave single, spicy chicken sandwich, 10-piece nugs, or medium frosty, and get another for $1. Double your deliciousness. Hurry, this BOGO deal won't last.
From the roof down, if you were affected by the hailstorm or, man, that crazy tornado over in Highlands Ranch, if no one's looked at your roof for other damage yet, I want you to call K&H Home Solutions. They do it all. They can repair the roof. They can redo the roof. On top of that, they'll deal directly with your insurance company. But what I love about them, most likely if you have roof damage, you have siding damage, maybe garage door damage. They can do the whole thing for you. Call. They'll come out, do a free inspection. 303-421-7100. This company's been around since 1956. 303-421-7100. KHWindows.com. Now, maybe you got some old necklaces that are tangled up. Maybe you lost an earring, so you have one earring laying around. Maybe a broken watch. How about coins? How about even fillings? And I'm not kidding there. Any kind of precious metal. David Ellis will write you a check on the spot, way more than a pawn store. These guys have been around a long time. They're honest people. We trust them. They'll give you top dollar for your gold. They'll give you top dollar for your silver. You name it. 3rd and Clayton. Check them out at davidellisjewelry.com.
Okay, are you living in a house or a condominium?
Okay, just so
or
you
an
know, this
apartment?
James
What kind
guy,
of HOA
I
issue
originally
is it?
lined him up over credit union
condominium.
preventing him from
Okay.
paying his bills on time.
Great.
Now he's
Well,
got these
Mark
whole
is
new
here
set
to
of
help,
problems
so
we want
what's
to
your
talk about
name?
instead.
Wait a minute. Is he homeless?
I have no idea. I'm
Okay,
just
I'm
telling
just
you,
gonna-
I just want you to know he's got a
problems.
plethora of problems going on in his life. Like, you know, what's the common
I have
denominator
told you so
there?
many times, I do not want to hear from your twin brother, Scott.
Oh, my God.
No, we only do on-air cases.
Feel free to smack
he
him.
is a problem child.
It's like, hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Is that what he says?
You know how much money?
That's a Taylor Swift song.
Dan, have you ever had teeth work done, like a veneer or anything? Man, I haven't either, but I can tell you, it is so costly, it's unbelievable. So this guy got a brand new mouth for basically free.
Yeah.
He says
he
it
wants
looks
an attorney, is what he told Kelly.
And he says it looks okay from the outside.
So
I mean,
I
what's he
put you
talking
in
about?
What we call the queue, and Mark will get to you as soon as he can. Okay, but you got to give me your first name.
Or make up a name.
I'm sorry, what?
Miranda Lambert. Oh, this is the craziest thing. Do you hear this story, Dan?
One more time.
So she's up on stage. I don't know where, could care less where. And she's singing. There's a couple young women in like the 5th, 6th row, whatever, kind of by the front. It's not like a Taylor Swift concert. It's a smaller venue. They take a selfie of themselves while she's singing at her event, which is going to do nothing, like Suzanne pointed out to me. Give her more action because
they're putting it on their social media.
we're here to
they're
see her.
tagging her.
She stops singing, calls them out, and tells them to listen instead of taking selfies. So a bunch of people get up and leave because they're like, not just the girls, I don't know if they left or not, but people are like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then other people are clapping, like, yeah, tell them not to do that. I mean, it's insane. If you had to either clap or get up, which one would you do?
I would get up.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Scolding your fans for giving you more publicity?
Yeah.
God, what is wrong with this world? Holy moly, that's a name, Kelly. Holy moly, that is a name.
Might change it up here.
You going to put up something else?
Yep.
Mary?
Yep.
Holy moly, Mary. That's one I wasn't. Wow. You know my diction.
Yes, we do.
I can't believe this Still Renews got going, though. You know, I've only...
In-house.
That's what I'm
Okay.
pulling it up. I've only gotten one complaint, I think, on Renew. And I don't even really know what it is. I sent it over, and they fixed it. Whatever it was, it went away instantly. Those are the kind of companies I love dealing with. There's an issue, you send it over, it's fixed.
Boom.
Excel Roofing's probably the best, but the only issue we ever get from Excel we can't fix, nor can he. You know what it is? It's only one issue we get from Excel Roofing.
What?
When he refuses to sign up a customer.
Yeah.
He is so good at that.
He's turned away a few.
He has turned away a guy just last week. The guy was like, hey, I just want to make sure you're going to be using this shingle and you guys have this insurance and you're going to put a porta potty on. This guy had a list of 20 things he wanted the roofing company Excel to do.
No, thanks.
So Jay wrote back to him and said, I'm sorry, I just don't think this is a fit.
We had a guy call in and complain a few years ago. Oh,
it's the only complaints I get on him.
In-house.
All right, 303-713-8255. Check this out. This is crazy, man. Renew Home Innovations, Nick's the owner over there. 50% off installation right now. 50% off. You want that new bathroom, that new shower, you can get one for as low as $100 a month because it's 72 months, no interest financing. Interest rates are high. They're offering no interest right now, 72 months. New showers as low as $100 a month. That includes a 50% off the labor. Now's the time to get that new bathroom. Quartz solid surface walls, no maintenance. They got a huge inventory. That gives them the ability to do these rapid installs. You want to get it done fast, you call them right now. 904-2000, 303-904-2000, renewhomeinnovations.com. Now, I'm going to go back, and I'm not going to... James, I found something out there in the break. I would really like to know how we can help you. And here's what I mean by that. I don't think your teeth are as bad as you're saying. Now, I don't know that for a fact, but what makes me say that is you originally reached out to us for a completely different reason, which was what, Suzanne?
It was a credit union preventing him from paying his bills on time.
Now, listen to what Suzanne just said, listeners. You called in because your bank or credit union would not allow you to pay your bills on time. That does not sound normal. The call I'm dealing with now with you does not sound normal. I would like to help you, but I think you probably need more help than I can give you. But I'm going to give you an opportunity again. If there's something I can sink my teeth into, no pun intended, to help you, I'd be happy to do it.
Okay. Well,
do you have food to eat tonight? I mean, what's your situation, man? Do you work? What kind of help can we really give you? I understand you're frustrated. You probably have issues. Your life probably hasn't gone how you thought it would go. But how can I actually help you?
I was just hoping that we can do something to, fix my credit. And I'd been just prevented from making payments on time, and it's been hard. I've gone to credit repair companies, and they've made improvements. And
the credit repair companies are going to rip you off, James. I would not use them. I wouldn't pay them anything. And this isn't just for you. This is for other people. Hold on, just because you said that. Most of these companies, what they want to do is negotiate all your credit card bills and unsecured debt, possibly, mostly not secured debt, but unsecured. Then you make a payment to them, then they pay the credit card companies. Some of them disappear, go out of business, and they have your money. Other ones are just unscrupulous to begin with. I would not do anything like that. Where do you live right now?
I'm out in Aurora.
I mean, do you have a home or an apartment?
Yeah, I live with my mom, trying to pay off quite a bit of debt.
Okay. How old are you?
38.
Are you looking for a job?
I need a job, yeah.
What kind of work can you do?
Well, I have an accounting degree, but very little experience.
Wow, you have an accounting degree. What could you do with an accounting degree? I mean, what have you done with your accounting degree? You're an accountant?
I'm trying to be. It's been.
Well, you just said you had an accountant degree. I mean, are you an accountant or you're not an accountant?
Well, I don't have a CPA license. I have a little bit of experience.
I understand.
Tax season
so during tax season, could you work, and do you know how to input information? Not necessarily be the CPA, but do you know how to follow orders and how to put stuff in?
Yeah, and I have experience with
Do you have the ability to actually show up on time? Do you have a drug issue? Do you have an alcohol issue?
No, I don't, actually.
Is your mom home? Hold on. James, if your mom is home, or your father or brother or sister, someone else I could talk to, I would like to do that. I would like to see if we can help you. I don't know if we're the proper people to help you, so I got to do a little digging. John and Betty. John's got an interesting comment. Betty's got a problem with retirement. Everybody hang tight. That guy's got every issue in the world.
Yeah, it's like I knew it was just more than like crack is whack, you know? It's like he had 100 different problems going on.
Yeah, that's the problem. He's mentally ill because there was no end to his problem. Everything, he is the problem.
And he's like, nah, I need help getting my credit fixed. That's still not what he called about, Mark.
Yeah, I know.
He called because the credit union was preventing him from paying his bills on time. I'm not laughing at him. I'm just went to check in online for their flight and his passport.
Hey, James, it's Mark. Is your mom around? Can I talk to her? All right, I'm not going to talk to her. I'm going to say that. What's that? Oh, that'd be great. I'd love to see that. And then go prep your mom and, just tell her Mark wants to talk to her in about 5-10 minutes, okay? All right. She knows you called up the radio. She knows you called the show, right? Yeah, okay. I do want to talk to her. I want to kind of just get a little more information from her, but we do want to help you. Hold tight. I can't wait to see what Mom's got to say. So we had this one guy show up. What was his name? Nutball? Who showed up at your thing too? Showed up at your driving class.
Do you have any
Corey?
Corey.
So this guy shows up at the station. First time he shows up, we used to have, this was a whole different deal when it was just iHeart Building pre-COVID. So we had a receptionist downstairs, and her name was Corey, and she was also like the guard, man. I mean, you couldn't get into the elevators or anywhere without the card key and without her blessing. Simple as that. And she was good at what she did. But she missed this one. She goes, hey, there's someone here to see you, Mark. And I'm thinking, I don't have an appointment. I don't know what she's talking about. And then I think, well, it's possible I forgot to put it down. Could be a client. Who knows? So I go out there, and there's this guy sitting there, and I sit down. I have no idea who he is. And the first thing he says is, I sit with you and Tom every day. I watch you guys smoking those joints during the show. And I'm thinking, what is he talking? It was so out there. It was crazy. Wow. Well, he watched us on YouTube. That took me a minute to understand. Where the smoking pot came in, I have no idea. I mean, we don't smoke. It was crazy. So by this time, Corey is realizing she screwed up because this guy is fucking bonkers, man. He is like the real legitimate bonkers. So I basically shoo him out the door, get him out the door, tell him he can't just show up like this. I'm going to call him later, blah, blah, blah. So I call him later, and I get in touch with his mother. He lives with his mother like this guy. The mother is a schizophrenic. He is, but she can't get him to stay on the meds. She's been on her meds, and she's, pretty normal, to be honest. She understands the issue. She has no idea how to make Corey stay on the meds. And he literally has tinfoil. He lives in the basement. She's telling me he literally has tinfoil on the windows, and he'll come up, and there's helicopters flying over, and airplanes, and the Douglas County Sheriff, State Patrol, Castle Rock, he lived out there, are always sneaking around his house at night. And this guy truly believes all this. I mean, there's no bullshit, man. He's mental. So he's no longer, there's pictures of him not to come into the building. This guy, so time goes by. I don't know how long it is. All of a sudden, he gets in through the back door. Someone had to open it and let him in. So somehow he got in. He takes the elevator. He had to get into somebody with the elevator. It's all on video. Gets to the 4th floor up here. He goes over to where the coffee machine used to be. Instead of what is it called? A Keurig? It was a big bun coffee machine. He proceeds to start making coffee. It's all on video. He hangs around the 4th floor, just walking around here, right around here, KOA, every studio here, for about an hour until security gets wind. I don't know how that finally happened. And they escort him out of the building, man. So all this is going down. I mean, everybody, the guy's scary. Not scary like you think. He's just crazy as shit. You don't know what he's going to do. Yeah. Suzanne has to go to a driving class. She got clocked doing like 80 and a 50 or whatever it is. So instead of paying the big ticket price, she got the class. So she goes to the class on a Saturday. I get a phone call at about 10 a.m. She is in freaking tears. She's sitting in there, and tell him what happened, Suzanne.
I was shaking. He came. Did you tell him he came in late?
No, tell him how it went down.
The class started, Dan. I see that he comes in 5 minutes late. So what the instructor does is if anyone shows up late, he says, class, you all came in time. Is it okay that we accept him late? And nobody cared. I look up and saw who it was. I was visibly shaking. I am hiding behind a book, just making sure he's not going to see me. I was out of my mind. Then all of a sudden, so he sits down, gets his materials for the class. About 5-10 minutes later, he just stands up, starts cussing and screaming.
Explodes.
I won't be putting up with this bullshit, throws his books in the trash, storms out. Oh my God, Dan, I mean, the guy is scary. He was scary. And you know what's really creepy? He wears the exact same thing every day.
He went from zero. He went from 0 to 100, just like that.
Stormed out. It's crazy.
Wow.
That's the last time I think any of us saw him.
Yeah, I heard from him. I thought, what are the chances?
Yikes.
Is there someone?
We had one caller. This was crazy. Hey, do you remember Shannon? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you remember what was the girl's name that was in the either the Army Reserves that worked with you?
Angie.
Yeah.
So one of our frequent callers that calls all the time, he's known Tom when he was like 10 years old. He came on the show. Now he's like 50. And he came in studio one day or something, and he freaked out, or I should say creeped out Angie, a female board op that used to be here. Creeped her out to the point where his picture was all around saying, do not let this guy in the studio. But we had him in as a guest occasionally because he'd been listening so long, so we had to stop having him in for a while.
Okay.
Do we still have that property management company on?
Yeah.
We might want to get them on for line 4. I'll see what it is first. Is that the name? Is that the name we came up with, or is that a totally
that's his
different?
Name. That's an outbound.
Yakov.
Kelly, when it's on the call list, please put outbound so they know.
Okay.
I don't know what time it was that she called, but issue. And then please go to Betty. She's been waiting since 10 and she was an outbound. Oh, well, we got James still. God bless.
Well,
Whatever.
I'll wait a minute and go back to James.
It's not for everybody, Suze.
Hey, I'm in there bugging you tomorrow. I'm going to talk and type away.
I'm going to be extra gassy.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Welcome to the
Tom
show.
Martino.
Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions. Say it with me. Take complaints. Try to make your life just a little bit better. You've been ripped off. You've been taken advantage of. This, my friend, and I mean this is a show for you. $300 million recovered in cash merchandise, exchanges, refunds, directly due to the show. Longest running show with the same host in the entire country. That's Tommy Boy. But today, you are blessed to have me. 303-713-8255. In studio with me, Dan McKenzie. I call him attorney extraordinaire. He does something that everybody needs at some point. I was shocked to know that only 30% of people have a will. Dan, that's what you said the first hour, approximate, of course. But based on research, only 30% of our population in the U.S., people I would assume over 18 adults, have a will. That's so few. Even if it was 50%, it's shockingly few.
Yeah. I think that's an estimate of how many people die without a will.
Well, okay. Well, that's the same thing, though. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Those numbers are probably even better.
Yeah.
Seriously, those numbers are probably even more important, people that die without a will, because if you have a will and you're alive, well, it doesn't do much for you besides...
You know what's missing there, though, is also that people die with a will, but it's like the will is 20 years old and causes more problems than it did.
Yeah, because, okay, that's funny, because maybe they didn't have kids. Maybe it was a first wife. Maybe it was a second wife. Maybe there was no assets. Maybe there wasn't a company involved. Maybe it wasn't a marriage to where you have stepkids. Oh, my God, that'd be crazy. A 20-year will.
Oh, we have a few of those that we're trying
Total
to
mess.
administer now, and yeah, it's worse than nothing.
Hey, real quick, I got to talk about Sheridan Auto Tech real quick, and I mean this. Uncle Kevin is the man. We had someone go over there the other day. He was going to check out a car for free. It was a company up north, ripped somebody off. They took care of this guy. Sheridan Auto Tech, I don't care if you have a Hyundai, a Honda, a Chevy, a Ford, any kind of vehicle, they can take care of it for you. He does an absolutely great job of what he does, and we appreciate everything you do for us. I had to give him a shout out for helping those people out. He's helped people out 100 times. He's actually taken in cars that we have had donated to us, fixed them up, and then we give them away on air to people that need a car. So SheridanAutoTech.com to find out, but he can maintain your car, fix it. He can do everything. Suzanne, did you have something to say?
Yeah, we on our YouTube channel at Troubleshooter Network, where our live video is.
Yes.
So one of our YouTubies wanted me to ask Dan, do you really need a will if you don't have too much in your estate? You don't have a house and
Boy, that's
not a lot
open-ended.
in your checking account.
No kids?
It just said, that was just what I read. Do you really need a will if you don't have too much?
We were kind of talking about that. So who doesn't need a will, Dan? I mean, in your opinion, well, answer the question. I mean, he asked the question, whoever it is on YouTube, answer it.
I mean, I really focus on, like, do you have anybody relying on you? And that can be family who's relying on you to support them. And also, if you have debts or, creditors out there, they're kind of relying on you too. So just getting those issues sorted out and saying, here's who's going to do this. Like, yeah, it's probably important, but more important, you brought up earlier, Mark, that, people with little kids, obviously they're relying on you. But it's more about that than about the assets.
Yeah. It's just, I can get that. Kids would be the biggest part of it. In fact, I remember when we just had Miles, we had to think of somebody who would take care of the kids if we passed away, if we both died. And then you start thinking, because we were younger at that point, and my parents were younger. So the natural thing at that time in our lives was our parents or their grandparents. And that was good with them, of course. They wouldn't want the kids going anywhere else. But then as my parents got older, then you go, okay, our kids still aren't 18. Now they're in their teenage years. Now it's a bigger question. Now you find friends that are going to take the kids from that 13, 14-year-old period up until they're 18. And then it gets complicated. And I'll tell you why it gets complicated, because now you're talking about assets that go with them. So you got to really think, who would you trust? And this is a hard one. Who would you trust? Let's say you got some money, you got some coin. Let's say you got a few $1 million and you die and your kids go to friends. And the friends have been friends for a long time, but they don't have much money. They're normal, I don't want to say paycheck to paycheck, but they're really good friends of yours, but they've never managed money. They don't know how to grow wealth. They know nothing about this stuff. And you go, oh my God, they're going to be in charge of this money. So then you go, okay, well, now what's that next step? And of course, naturally, that next step, and correct me if I'm wrong, is not just a will. Now you got to figure out a trust. You got to figure out when that money hits those kids, how it does, who's going to be the trustee. And those are really hard questions Suzanne and I had to think about. We're like, okay, who raises the kids? But on the same time, who controls the purse strings? I mean, if you want your kids going to college, you might say, okay, they can pay for college out of the trust, but they can't pay for 3 months in Europe. I mean, you know what I'm saying, Dan?
Yeah.
And we ended up laying out a lot of different scenarios.
Yeah.
And is that pretty common?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize that those are two different jobs. Managing the money and managing the kid is two different things, and people have different skill sets, and not everyone can do both. And it's half and half for us. Half of our clients want the guardian to also be in charge of the money, but I usually encourage them to think that through a little bit.
And they can always, my understanding was too, they can always petition the court if they need money for the kids. So both of us pass away, these folks have the kids, are raising them, and I don't want to say catastrophic, but something happens, whatever it is, and they want to get extra money for that child, they can go petition the court or go to the trustee if it's somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, that really is the trustee's role. You definitely don't, I mean, yes, petition the court is an option, but that's kind of a last resort.
But that's when the trustee says, no, I don't agree with you.
Yeah, there
most
can be
of the
disputes,
time.
but that's the issue. If the guardian and the trustee are different, they can get in disputes.
When it comes to a trustee, this is another one we thought of. So, okay, I'll lay the cards down on the table and tell you what we ended up doing on the money part, not with the raising kids part. I use Tom. I've known Tom 25 years. Tom has money. I feel very comfortable when it comes to money. I'm not going to have any issues with our kids blowing money if we were to die in their teenage years. And I have no issue with Tom would ever take money from the trust for anything but the kids. So we kind of got lucky because we have a relationship with somebody that's similar, if you will. But a lot of people don't have that. So they're up against a couple things. One, you give the purse strings to the people that are watching the kids. And I, in most cases, would not do that. And I already kind of pointed that out. If people live paycheck to paycheck, they're great people. You want those values. You want all of that good part of them with the kids, but they don't know what to do with money. There might not be any money left. I mean, that's just a fact of life. But the other option is scary too. Some of these trust companies they set up, I don't even know what you call it. Don't a lot of banks have stuff like this?
They do, yeah.
And those are really scary too, because you're paying what each month? Or you're basically paying a pretty hefty fee in some cases.
Fees can be big.
But, I mean, give me an idea of what that could be, though.
I mean, the issue with the banks, a lot of them they charge about assets under management, which can be quite large fees based on not a lot of activity, frankly.
Yeah.
And then there are professionals around here like CPAs and lawyers who do that kind of work as fiduciaries, and they charge hourly. And usually I don't like hourly bills, but in this circumstance, sometimes it makes more sense.
I think it would make more sense, and besides just a fee based upon whatever the net worth or however they come to it.
Right.
Do you do that out of curiosity? Do you
We have not done that, no.
Okay, is that something some attorneys do, or generally
some
it's
do.
not?
Yeah, some do.
Kind of a specialty?
Yes. I mean, it's just, it can be very labor intensive. You really got to get in the weeds and review the receipts, and, it can be day-to-day activity. So
Okay.
you got to have somebody who's really set up to do that.
All right, Daryl, I see you got a question for Dan. We'll get that in a second. James called up. I'm just going to recap really fast. He called up. He had a problem with multiple dentists, but then he also had a problem with a credit union that's not allowing him to pay bills. He's got a lot of issues. He lives with his mom. I wanted to talk to his mom. I'd like to help James out, but I really got to figure out how to help him out. I don't think it has anything to do with the dentist. I don't think it has anything to do with the credit union. Hey, James, did you get your mom on the line for me?
Yes,
she's right here.
I'm here.
Oh,
This is Maria Ryder.
What is your
I'm
name?
James' mom,
Just your first name.
Maria.
Hey, Maria, how are you? I wanted to ask you a few things.
Sure.
I'd like to figure out how to help James. He reached out to us. First of all, you understand you're on the air, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Okay, hold on. Let me put her on hold. We're going to take a break. We need to make sure. Kelly, I know you didn't know that. I thought, James went and got his mom,
And said, hey, I'm on a radio show.
Well, I don't know. I don't think James shared that with her, but let's get her up to date. We'll take a break. Yakov's got an issue with property management. Betty's got a problem with CenturyLink, and Daryl's got a question for Dan. Hold tight. We're going to be right back.
Broncos Country. Make plans to come out to training camp, powered by Ford, and get up close and personal with your favorite Broncos players as they prepare for the NFL season. There will be 12 practices open to the public at the Centura Health Training Center between July 28th and August 17th, all starting at 10 a.m. New this year, practices will require a complimentary ticket for entry. For more information and to secure tickets, visit denverbroncos.com/training camp today.
Hey, I got to tell you about Water Pros. Paul, the waterman, I'm going to tell you what I love about him. Pricing, honest guy. He'll come out. He's got systems under $2,000. Full house systems, water softeners under $2,000. He also has point of use, meaning that water you drink out of that tap, ultra clean, reverse osmosis. Right now, there's these forever chemicals anywhere. I want you to call Paul. He'll come out. He'll test your water. It's 100% free. 303-862-5554. Paul, the waterman, the best for less, waterpros.net. Now, who I want to talk about is Fuller Law. What I love about John Fuller is I used him twice, and both times after an accident. Of course, it was the other person's fault. One, we got T-boned. One, my daughter got rear-ended on I-25. Both times the vehicles were totaled. We had injuries. It was a bad deal. Really scary moment in time, and you don't know what to do. I don't want you to think, oh, I'm not one of these people that get an attorney involved. The insurance company's doing good for me right now. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. That other insurance company is out to trick you in any possible way they can to pay you the least amount of money, or they're going to try to run out the clock so you get the big goose egg. You need to call John if you were involved in an accident. You can talk to him for free. He's going to tell you how it works. Of course, you don't pay him a cent unless if he collects money for you. It's simple as that. But John Fuller's website is myaccidentlawyer.co. That's myaccidentlawyer.co. Call him with any questions if you've been in a car wreck. 303-597-4500. The bottom line is My Accident Lawyer can be your accident lawyer at myaccidentlawyer.co.
Are you a business owner who could use a few $100,000 to get your attention?
Is the Water Pros, is that to mark off his
Yes.
in-house?
Yes.
Mark off all three since it was long?
2.
Okay.
These are 15s, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a 30. That was, yeah.
All right, I marked off 2 for you.
And what was, and then Maria knows the scoop now. She's on the air.
And just so you know, Betty, it's a retirement issue, getting her retirement check. She worked for CenturyLink for 40 years.
Okay.
So just so you're aware of that.
I wonder who owns them now.
Lumen. Lumen is who you, in fact, my contacts there are Lumen, at Lumen emails.
Are they pretty good?
They seem to be, but
But it's mostly bullshit issues.
But the CenturyLink stuff we've got, I've been able to get to my behind-the-scenes angel who's on the field.
Ah.
So I've not quite had an admin problem like this. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, Lumen bought up CenturyLink, or I don't know how all that works.
Yakov. What's that comedian? Yakov something.
Smirnoff.
Yakov Smirnoff. Is he still around?
Really?
He was a pretty funny guy.
Yakov Smirnoff?
Yeah, Yakov Smirnoff.
You're right. That's funny.
Oh, Yeah.
American entered North Korea without permission. That is one thing I will never do in my life.
A double dog dare you, Mark.
I will never enter North Korea under any circumstance.
Come on, you're no fun.
I will not go to the DMZ to visit, take pictures, selfies.
Or take a tour.
I will not be there. No tour of the DMZ.
I might have to rethink my whole life now.
I'm not sure I'd go to Seoul. How's that? I don't know if I'd go to the good Korea.
We'll just stay out of the Northern Asia area.
I'd love to go see the Hyundai
I'd like to see
ship
the
factory.
Great Wall of China would be so.
I'm not going to China either.
Like, screw China.
I like the good side of the wall. No, China is not on my bucket list. North Korea, not on bucket list. Egypt, not on bucket list. I hear people get really sick over there. Don't drink the water, don't eat the food kind of thing. Let's see.
Betty's been holding an hour and a half, just so
All right.
you know.
Yeah, okay. Betty. We should play
Betty.
Taylor Swift Betty. Okay, who do we got here? I'm checking Dan off. Yes. Mean Bean, Java Monster Machine.
These are pretty good.
I had an
Employers Talk Station. Online at khout.com.
All right, 303-713-8255, 303 Martino. I'll let you know when a line's open. We got a lot cooking. Kelly, did you explain to Maria what's going on?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I'm going to go to her in a minute. Betty's been holding forever. Betty, what is this issue with your retirement, either your pension, and I see CenturyLink? What's going on?
Well, I retired with 39 years of service with Quest. Well, that went to CenturyLink.
Yep.
This past year, CenturyLink has outsourced our retirements and anything that has to do with retiree to Lumen. Okay, Lumen makes you go through all these hoops to get your money that you are due.
Hey, prior
Here,
Betty,
I would get
Betty. Hold on. Prior to Lumen, would you get a check every month? I mean, it would just be in the mailbox, or it got transferred ACH. How did it work pre-Lumen?
Pre-Lumen, I got a check probably in February for $1,925 to pay for my year's health insurance.
Oh.
Now, all of a sudden, we're going through all these hoops here to try to get our money from Lumen. I call. People are working from different areas, and maybe I'll get somebody in South Carolina, get somebody in Oklahoma. I'm getting no money. I'm not getting anything except for my dental, which is $20 a month. They're sending that, but my health insurance is $351 a month. The $1,900 does not cover the whole year. I haven't gotten anything, and I don't get any response. I don't get anything.
But it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be the full amount of your health insurance. It's supposed to be that compensation of $1,900, right?
Yeah, what I was getting was $1,900 for the whole year.
And that's what you're looking for this year, right now, is that $1,900.
Exactly.
So you have not. You did not.
Pay the whole year ago.
Yeah, you got it a year ago, and you're supposed to get that till the day you die.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So this is interesting, and here's why. CenturyLink, we have angels that are really good people. In fact, anytime we've had issues with them, they've pretty much come through, right, Suzanne?
Yeah, they sure have. We have more boots on the ground kind of guy out there for the CenturyLink line issues and whatnot. And
yeah,
then
they're
we have,
mostly technical issues.
Yeah, and then we have a Lumen contact, hopefully that can help.
Yeah, so we're going to reach out to our Lumen contact and figure out what's going on. But the bottom line is, if you're supposed to get this money and nothing has changed, we're going to get it figured out for you.
I'm not getting anything for my health retirement account, my HRA.
And that's the only problem, Betty, right? You're getting all your other money you're supposed to get, just not for your health every year.
I'm getting my dental's $20. But here, a couple years ago, I didn't even get my pension. We had to go after that. I think Tom helped me with that, too.
Wow.
For some reason, I don't know what it is. Anyway, I'm not getting my money.
Yeah, so here's what we're going to do for you, Betty. We're going to reach out to someone at Lumen, and if they can't figure it out, I'm going to give it to Deputy Dollar sitting next to me. But I bet Suzanne gets through to the angel and we get it worked out. But we're going to need a lot of your information, so I'm going to put you on hold.
I already have it, Kelly.
Oh, cool. And you did make your payments. I mean, you are covered on health right now, right?
Yeah, I'm making them out of my own bank account, but I earned this.
How come? Hell yeah, you earned it. I'm with you 100%. I'm going to fight for you like crazy. I am curious about this, though. Aren't you on Medicare?
Medicare, United Healthcare, yeah.
So what is the
$351 a month?
What is the 1900? Oh, because of you got Plan D, or you've got everything. In other words,
that covers. I earned that. That covers all my health insurance.
I got you, and you're paying out of pocket right now. I get it 100%. Hey, what was it like working? What did you do for? Let's go back to Quest and US West. Where did you? Just really quick. What did you start there 40 years ago doing?
40 years ago, I started on the board.
What does that mean? Like, hey, put me through to Bensonhurst 558?
And if you wanted a number, I would connect you. I worked on long-distance boards where you had the cords.
You would literally plug in the cords.
I wound up in data systems and wound up with mainframes and peripheral devices and installed third-party software. I was also, at one time, a union rep, belonged to the CWA. I did a lot in that 39 years.
Think about this. In that technology, basically you started as a phone operator, right?
Right.
That's incredible. I was thinking about that. I've never witnessed that in my life, but like if you were in New York, you would pick up the phone, or if anywhere, and the operator would be the only one that answered, and then the operator would legitimately patch you through to whoever you wanted. Now, some people, like my uncle,
maybe 3 different boards getting to where you wanted to go.
Yeah, 1-to-1. But the other part that I did see, because my uncle was so cheap, and this was 20 years ago, he still shared a party line in the neighborhood, but he was the only one on the party line, so he paid almost nothing for a private line. But the party lines are crazy too, because back in the day, like 10 homes might ring at the same time.
That's right.
Man, have we come a long way. Now you pick up now you pick up a little box. You don't even got to talk to people. You can text them. It's crazy. You've seen a lot change. Hey, we're going to help you out.
A long way, sure have.
We are going to help you out if I got to go over to CenturyLink and kick their ass myself.
Betty, I'm going to reach out today. You give me a few days and I'll get with you.
Thank you, Betty.
Well, thank you for your help. You've helped us before, so we appreciate your help.
We will take care of this. I have no doubt. 303-713-8255. I almost wonder if companies do make things difficult on purpose, because then only the squeaky wheels get the grease. But, I mean, when you're talking about someone that worked for you for 40 years, now, granted, it's not the same company. It's not the same ownership by any means. And some of these conglomerates, I mean, you have no idea the real people at the top making the decisions. But, man, you figure 40 years with the company, you'd at least make it so she gets her $1,900. God, remember United? Does anybody remember what happened with United years ago? I had a good friend, Doug Walker, right here in Colorado. He had the dream job. He was a pilot with United. He had the dream gig. He'd fly here to Europe Everybody, most sought after route. He had seniority. He worked forever. His pension was going to be $10,000 a month minimal. Health, all that stuff. You know what United did? They gutted that. They went bankrupt back in the day, or close to. And then what happened? You know what happened? Doug's pension went to about $2,500 a month. 30, 40 years, top seniority as a pilot, got totally screwed. Thank God for 401ks now. These big companies can't put the screws to you.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Spa Palace.
Bad news for folks heading west out into the Highlands. I-70 both east and westbound are closed at Lookout Mountain due to a vehicle fire. Eastbound drivers, you're going to start seeing stop-ups at Genesee Park. I-70 westbound drivers leaving town, you'll start seeing those stop-ups at Lookout Mountain, and it looks like US 40 is the detour which traffic is being diverted off to. Into Denver proper, it's a pretty easy drive, no complaints. I-25. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, partly cloudy skies out there. Things are heating up. We're looking at more hot temperatures, highs in the upper 90s. Clouds rolling in for chance of isolated thunderstorms. Overnight low of 66. The current temperature in Denver is 93 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Celebrate Independence Day in style with the 4th of July jacuzzi sale at Spa Palace. Dive into relaxation and save big with discounts of up to $1,000. Visit spapalace.com to find their convenient locations and explore all the details. Spa Palace, where relaxation meets affordability.
$39, that's how much it costs. That AC's not working right, or maybe you got a plumbing issue or an electrical issue. $39 to get a licensed tech out to your house. Only the guys that fix it 24/7 do that. Maybe that AC, now that the heat's here, isn't blowing as cold as you remember it last year. They can come out and for $39 tell you what's going on with it, give you an estimate with exact pricing. You got to check these guys out. FixMyHome.com. George Donaldson, great guy. He's the owner. 720-526-3939, fixmyhome.com.
Mother's Day, Cinco de Mayo, Memorial Day, May.
This is a way dated spot.
What's that?
Tell me what card number this is.
Can you hear me?
Move on to dark. And I'm gonna email one.
7399675. 7399675.
K&H Mother's Day. When is Mother's Day?
It's in May.
May, my God.
Maybe talking about.
Do we know who...
We're coming up on the bicentennial. Boy, it's going to be a humdinger.
I don't know if this is...
I know it didn't sound like that in the 70s, but, you know.
Should I email Tom in Hawaii?
No.
Tell him to get this spot done. His K&H that's 4 months old.
He can't deliver good sounding spots from his home studio. I don't think it's going to be great from
Hawaii.
Gay Kiki.
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
We used to have a guy named Peter. He worked at Best Buy, the biggest dork geek you've ever met. Smart son of a bitch, but so smart he's stupid. You know what I mean?
To a fault. He's smart, right?
He's so on the spectrum, but I mean crazy smart.
Wonder what he's up to.
And he would say, it's not Hawaii, it's Hawaii. Okay, who am I going to do?
Which in-house are you going to do next?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. 88 Heating comes to you.
That sounds good. Well, you just did.
I did Frank Duran.
Oh, you did? I missed it.
You did?
Yeah, I did. Oh, maybe I didn't. Hold on. Maybe I'm lying to myself.
You are. Oops.
Maybe I'm lying to myself.
You're unclicking
Mark,
it.
you are so good looking.
Mark, you just did a Fix It. Maybe you want to wait on the 888 and do Harris?
I'll do a Harris.
515-5000.
It's not for everybody, Suze.
It is not for everybody.
I cannot wait to be in there tomorrow and annoy the hell out of you.
I'm going to do nothing but eat top ramen until tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to sing on every call I answer. Troubleshooter show.
They had a new one, a new cup of noodles.
Oh, yeah, the breakfast. I've been looking for you. Breakfast flavors.
Yeah, it was like bacon and eggs, man.
Maples, like waffles and
waffles,
pancakes.
maple syrup
sausage
waffles.
and waffles.
Right, yes.
Wonder how they are.
I'm so sorry I didn't respond. I was in the middle of a horrible situation.
Let's see. Where did you go and rent this van, by the way, Shannon?
Enterprise.
No, I mean, where the fuck do you take the van?
Lake McConaughey, Ogallala, Nebraska.
We got to go
Oh,
there.
nice,
That's
man.
up by Sun.
Did you guys do a boat or any of that bullshit?
Nope.
You
Just
are
sit
the
there.
best. Mark second best. It's a close second, though. Brian from Walmart said that.
Hey, Brian, blow me.
Love the show today.
kiss.
Listening while I work. Brian, he's such a nice guy.
Is it okay for me to be
Why's
really
your
mean to the
husband
people at
hate
Walmart
me?
who are checking my receipt on the way out?
You don't need to be mean to anybody.
I just think, listen,
You look a little sketch. That's why they're checking.
You've removed the bags, so now you can't tell if I'm stealing something.
It
but I
feels
don't
like
want
you're
you to.
stealing. For me, when I walk out with product that's not in a bag, I feel like I'm stealing something.
But I don't want them to profile thinking that I didn't steal. You know what I mean? They're
most
looking at me
times
like,
when-
oh, well, he obviously didn't steal.
Most times when people come back from vacation, they're refreshed. They've got a glow about them.
You're not glowing.
You have no fucking glow.
Unless it's anger.
The
Spite.
anger.
I was so pissed when I pulled up and the building was still standing today. God damn it.
Shannon, you are the worst.
I really would have missed my coffee cup that I left here.
And all of us.
Huh? Yeah, tomorrow's going to be great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Right on.
Watches.com. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
All right, 303-713-8255. I'll always tell you when a line's open. And I guess when there's not one open, so my bad. Here's the deal. You've been ripped off, taken advantage of. I always try to give this out so people understand how to get in touch with us. Give it to your neighbors. Give it to anybody. 303-MARTINO. That number works all the time. Whether we're on the air or not, you can leave a message or get right through to the show, but we'll call you back. We'll get that figured out. You can also email help@troubleshooter.com. Put your phone number in there, and we'll reach out to you. We love helping people. We love recouping money when you've been ripped off. Over $300 million. And we love the people at Referral List. We've got some of the best attorneys around at referrallist.com, and I have one next to me right now. He has been with us a long time. Dan McKenzie, who we do have a question for, we're going to go to in a second. But Rich Harris is another attorney on referrallist.com. Harris Family Law. One of the things I love, Dan, listen to something they do and tell me what you think about it. There's a lot of divorce, adoption, family law attorneys out there. One of the things they do, and tell me if you've ever heard of this, they call it an early neutral assessment. So if you're thinking about getting divorced, and let's say you have some assets, you have a house, you have kids, you have dogs, you own property, you got a timeshare. I mean, whatever your circumstance is, you haven't talked to your spouse about a divorce, and you don't even know if, one, you can afford a divorce. You don't know if your spouse might get half of your 401k. You want to know what a divorce would look like after the divorce before you even talk about a divorce. Have you ever heard of that before, this early neutral assessment?
I have, but it's not. That's definitely an added service that I think is great.
I think it's unbelievable because there's probably a lot of people out there. They call them gray divorces, people that have been married, 40, 50 years. COVID, maybe they got a little too close and now want to break up, but they have no idea, like, do I keep the house? What's going to happen? What is the reality of what it's going to look like? That's what these guys do, and they do it great. HarrisFamilyLaw.com. HarrisFamilyLaw.com or 303-515-5000. Now, Dan McKenzie, any questions you have on wills or probate or a trust? But Daryl, you've got a question for Dan. And then we're going to go back and talk to Maria. I'll recap that real quick. So, Maria, hold on. You're going to come up after this. Daryl, what's going on? What question do you have for Dan?
Okay, real quick before I do my question. You have, I love you. I have respect for you.
Uh-oh.
But you lost a little bit of my respect on Friday.
What was it?
Uh-oh, I know what it is.
Well, oh,
Taylor
God.
Swifty.
Okay, whatever, dude. Whatever.
Man card gone.
Whatever,
You had
dude.
to be only out of a handful, right?
So
There's
you
only
can
a handful of
recoup
guys there, right?
You can recoup hundreds of millions for people, but if you go to a Taylor Swift concert, it's all over. You know what? First of all, she's a money machine. I absolutely love her for that. She generates more money than any male musician I know of. I can't think of anybody. I mean, people argue, oh, maybe the Beatles. No way. Paul McCartney. Actually, Paul McCartney might be the whatever. What's your question for Daryl? Or what's your question for Dan?
I have a will, and I have several people in it. And what I put in there, the verbiage was, if anybody is to contest this will, you get nothing.
Now, wait. You bring up an interesting question. Dan, is that a real deal? I've heard that before.
Yeah, people include no contest clause. It's called a no contest clause and trying to discourage people from challenging it.
Wow. But what happens in the event maybe there's another will out there? I mean, what happens if there's like a real issue? That would hold up?
Courts do not automatically, because they know like a person who's got bad intentions will unduly influence the person creating the will to put that provision in there so that it can't be challenged. So the court's going to look at that and make sure.
This is that, and my PR is my lawyer. So
okay.
That's I
well, what's your question? What was your question with it, Daryl?
That was it.
Is it valid?
Well, that'll hold up, and you just said, yeah, it'll hold up.
That's pretty cool, man. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, you know, it's you got to give, like, a lot of people come in and say, I want to cut my son out and I want to put a no contest clause in so he can't challenge it. It's like, well, he has no incentive not to challenge it because he's not getting anything anyway. Like, you got to give that son something enough that it's got to think, like, I'm going to lose this if I challenge it potentially.
Oh, that's pretty smart. So in other words, if you're going to give, 3 of your kids the majority of the wealth, and the one kid you don't want to leave anything to for whatever reason, you might put that clause in there, but you give them $100,000 or whatever it happens to be.
Whatever you think it will take to incentivize them not to challenge it.
To mess with the
rest.
rest.
For some people, it's $5,000. For some people, it might be $500,000. But
That's
the court's
nuts.
still going to look at. I mean, they can still challenge it, and the court's still going to look at it. The court might say, this seems a little. We don't understand the circumstances here, and we're not validating this.
Hey, Daryl, I appreciate that question. And by the way, you're the problem, not the solution. Anybody that can bring $120 million to Denver. Hey, side note real quick. One line open, 303-713-8255. Anybody see either on 9 News or Fox 31 this morning? They're shutting down the bathrooms at, I think it's City Park. I forget what park it is. They showed what these people do. They go in and take like hammers and baseball bats. They completely destroy the urinals, the toilets, completely destroy the sinks, completely destroy everything. Set the porta potties on fire, push them over. What the hell, man? It's like I don't even know where we live anymore. That is so sad for this town. That's what happens when you don't have police. I mean, honestly, if you're allowed to steal cars and shoplift and there's no issue, they don't care about vandals. You could probably spray paint. You could probably do whatever you want. You're not going to go to jail. You're probably not even going to have a bail set. It's just horrible. I really hope this new mayor, and that's why I brought it up. I don't even know his name, honestly. I really don't. I don't live in Denver, so I had nothing to do with the vote. But I, honest to God, hope he can clean the place up. I don't want to end up like San Francisco. I don't want to end up like Los Angeles. I mean, we've got to do something. Now, I digress. Maria, her son James called. James has got a lot of issues. I'm going to leave it at that. He called because every dentist he's gone to has pretty much screwed up his teeth. On top of that, the credit union he has won't allow him to pay bills. There's just a lot. There's a lot to absorb there. And while talking to him, it became very evident he's got a lot more problems than what he's calling about. So, Maria, I wanted to ask you, in your own words, what's really going on with James? How could we possibly help him to get a job? Is he capable of holding a job? And James, if you're on the line or on another phone with your mom, please let her talk. But Maria, tell me what you know about your son.
Okay, thank you. I would say, yes, of course he has lots of problems. Some of them have gotten really out of hand because of the stress that's caused by the dental issue.
Okay.
So he is unable to concentrate. He just has so much difficulty getting things done. Yes, he's been able to hold jobs, but it's been not on the level that he would like to. He has a degree in accounting that he got from Metro a few years back, and he's still working at warehouses.
Maria, has he been diagnosed with anything?
Yes, he has. But,
What is it?
Well, that's something you need to know on public. I can just discuss it with you, one of your associates later.
But he can definitely hold. In other words, if motivated and he likes the job, he can show up and work, let's just say in an accounting office, doing whatever tasks they give him, such as maybe some bookkeeping, whatever it happens to be. But he can literally work and focus and get to work and, get along with other people in an office environment. I mean, is that even feasible?
Well, I think that with the stress he has, no.
Okay.
I feel like he'll be able to keep it because he's constantly having.
Do you think the teeth problem, Maria? Do you think that the problem with his mouth, his gums, his teeth, just the oral issue? Do you think that it is physical pain, or it's more of an issue he doesn't think he looks right? What is the actual issue that's causing all this stress when it comes to his mouth?
Okay, it's neither of those. It's not so much how it looks, although it would be nice to look nicer. But he has a beautiful set of teeth when he smiles, used to. But now it's compromised somewhat. But that's not the major issue. The major issue is the teeth continue to deteriorate because of all the extra drilling that they did, and that he was not able to continue the service because they were drilling either.
So really what would help him right now, one of the things we could possibly do is have a dentist look at him and try to evaluate what needs to be done to stop the teeth from getting worse.
And to also find a way to pay for it. So
yeah, is he still on Medicaid?
No, not at this moment.
Why not? If he's not working right now, why are we not having him on Medicaid so he can go to a dentist?
He was working up till a couple of days ago. He's not been fired, but they put him on suspension.
Yeah.
And so we don't know if he's out of work or not yet.
All right, hold on. Here's what I think needs to happen. It's obvious, and Maria, I know you can hear me. And Kelly, make sure I got her information. It's obvious that he's having trouble holding a job right now. And the reasoning, I guess, is because of these issues with his mouth. So I think what we need to do is help him get back on Medicaid. He probably qualifies right now. I don't know how much money he was making, so I could be wrong there. But I want to figure out that financial piece, whether or not he qualifies. And if he does qualify, I think the first thing we got to do is get the pain, get that corrected. I don't see him holding a normal job when this is hanging over his head, and that's directly from his mom. So let's try to look at it in those terms and see if we can't move forward. Maybe John Jones, when things settle down over there, he could help us out with this, but I need Maria's info. All right, Bob, Darcy, Yakov, everybody hold tight. Lot coming up.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Colorado 811. Call before you dig.
Good news for folks out west into the Highlands. I-70 east and westbound are reopened at Genesee Park after a vehicle fire had both sides of the roads closed. We are still seeing heavy traffic through east and westbound roads. Looks like the scene has been moved to the left lane of I-70 eastbound. Heading to the north end of town, US 36 eastbound, we've got road surface collapse and the roadway reduced to one lane at Cherryvale Road overpass. Stop and go traffic back from Table Mesa Drive. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, fair skies, another hot one today, highs in the mid-90s. We are expecting some clouds to roll in with a chance of isolated thunderstorms. The current temperature is 93 degrees with your Impact Traffic and weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Every project, big or small, starts with a plan. And if the plan includes digging, contacting Colorado 811 will need to happen first. It's fast, free, easy, and it's the law. Always contact Colorado 811 before you dig.
Mark Massey, he owns Empower Reverse Mortgage. If you listened to the show yesterday, he was in studio. He's an absolutely great guy. What I love about him is he's local and he gives you the honesty. He'll tell you everything about a reverse mortgage. It doesn't matter if it's the good, bad, or the ugly. He's going to tell you if it's right for you. He's going to give you all the different options. He also does other kind of lending. So if the reverse isn't right for you, there might be another product he sells that is. 720-500-7719. Mark Massey, EmpowerReverse.com. Now, how about putting a little scratch into your pockets? You know what I'm talking about? A little extra cash? David Ellis Jewelers. You know what these guys do? They give you top dollar for your old necklaces that are tangled up or a mismatched earrings. You only got one or, 5 different earrings laying around, broken watches, coins, anything that is a precious metal. Listen to this. They weigh it, they pay it right there on the spot. 3rd and Clayton, DavidEllisJewelry.com.
Don't let depression, anxiety.
They weigh it, they pay it.
On the spot.
On the spot, baby. They give you the green bags.
Hi, Joan. Hi, Robert. Miss you guys.
Try wanting. Oh, that's you typing.
Yeah, well, because I had him lined up. And then Kelly called him. He didn't answer. Oh, she got him. Good. Yep. Okay, so the new Denver mayor, Mike Johnston, declared state of emergency over homelessness. I don't know if that's good or bad.
It depends what he does about it.
Yeah.
It is
so because you were mentioning him a little bit ago.
I know. It's such an issue because it's like, what do you do with them? You can build them a tiny house.
Yeah, but they don't. If they
want to
house,
fucking live there, they don't.
If they wanted a home, they'd be living in a home for the most part.
Maybe, yeah.
A lot of them.
Unless you're crazy.
There's a lot of them that are just drug addicts or outright crazy. So
Yeah,
I don't know what you do with them. I'll tell you one thing you can do as Douglas County does. Send them to Aurora. Yeah, I said it. That's what you do.
Oh, my God.
I don't think I've ever seen one homeless person in Franktown. Not one.
Oh,
Yeah.
you need one? I'll move down
Our
there.
mayor, Mayor Mark, gets rid of them quickly.
Well, my family was homeless a few times, but
You had that station
not like
wagon.
that homeless. Not
Yeah,
like
look on the bright side.
not living.
There's
Living in.
There's
churches.
always a bright side.
There's always a bright side to being.
You went from homelessness to a car to a church. And now look at you. You hitched your wagon to the man.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's so gross.
Shannon.
Look at that wagon I got. Woo, look at that caboose.
Oh, dear. Send him to Honduras.
That's what I
MH
like
says.
about Toby Keith. He sings that one song, Look at Me Now, or what is it?
How do you like me now?
How do you like me now?
How do you like me now?
In the video, he goes back to some chick that dumped him in high school. The problem is I was never dumped. I did the dumping.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shut up, Shannon.
No, I support you.
I'll never forget leaving my house and Shannon's van was in front of my neighbor's. And how did I know it was Shannon's van?
Because of the antenna?
Because he's the only person I know that has a van with a massive antenna on it.
Compensating.
And we're not talking like the old CB antennas. We're talking a remote broadcasting antenna.
It went up 45 feet.
It really did?
Yeah.
Did you ever just crank it up for the hell of it?
Oh, yeah.
While driving?
No, I'd go park somewhere in a no parking area, like half on a sidewalk, run the antenna up and go into a bar or go see a movie.
We went to...
They're not going to tow it.
No, they're not going to tow it. We went to Sam's Club yesterday, and we had to get gas. So we're in line. Guess what's in front of us? Mind-boggling. A fucking Tesla. Suzanne and I are listening because I joke all the time. I'm just going to go get in that gas line. But this guy, he
what
did
the hell
it.
is going on?
He's literally in the gas line in front of me, which is now pissing me off because I'm going, okay, great joke. Now get the hell out of here. I got to get gas. Well, he had so he actually had a diesel 10-gallon tank in the back, probably for his tractor or something.
Here we go.
30 KHOW, an iHeartRadio station.
888heating.com. Man, these guys will match any price out there. You need a new air conditioner, it's too hot, that thing's been running 20 years, time to get a new one. Call around, get whatever price you want. The best price you're going to get is 888heating. It's 888heating.com. Their phone number's right there. Very fast service. They even beat other people in repairs. You got something broken on there and they quoted you a couple $1,000. These guys will beat it. Guaranteed lowest prices, 888heating.com. Now, 303-713-8255. We got 2 hours to go. We got a lot cooking here. Real quick, Bob's got a comment. We had a lady call. CenturyLink is having a heck of a time. Actually, it's no longer CenturyLink. It's Lunar, whoever it is. Who is
Lumen.
it? Lumen. Is not getting her money, her $1,800 that she gets each year as part of her pension plan. And I told her, if our angel doesn't take care of it, I'll get over to CenturyLink and personally start kicking some ass and getting her this payment. We've got a lot of questions coming up for Dan McKenzie. But, Bob, what is your question or comment about Betty and CenturyLink? Are you dealing with the same issue?
Okay, Mark, my wife retired from CenturyLink, and she gets her money from Lumen regularly. So it's not Lumen's fault. I'm not sure this lady is actually taking care of what needs to be done because
Well, let me ask you, Bob. I'm being very serious here. If our angel can't help us out, would you mind if we got your information and maybe you could help her out since you guys have gone through either the online stuff, she might not even have a computer, I don't know, or the paperwork? Is it something you might be able to help her with as a fellow long-term CenturyLink employee?
Okay, I didn't retire from CenturyLink.
Your wife
My
did.
wife did.
Yeah.
So, okay. So and I just asked her, and the only information that she really has to give me is that Betty needs to send Lumen all copies of her bills for health insurance.
Well, sir, she said that she sent everything a few times, but maybe not the proper documentation.
So what did they say that needed to be? Oh, you know what, though, Bob? I appreciate that. You're probably right that they're not doing anything on purpose to screw her over. They're basically waiting for the right paperwork.
Exactly, because my wife gets hers, like
All right, do me a favor, though, Bob. Do me a favor, and would you please give Kelly at least your wife's info? We're not going to reach out to her now, but if we can't get anywhere with our angel, which is highly unlikely, I would like to have a second course of action because I don't want to get my knuckles bloody. 303 Martino. Everybody hold tight. We got a lot coming up.
You want to fix that a little better so it doesn't happen again? I was trying to.
All right. You know what? I don't know if I'm going to have a line open, but if we do, I will definitely call you in 15 minutes, okay? Perfect. Okay.
I love it. That was unbelievable. Okay, hold on. It's dual-sided. So this side's okay. This side needs to go up here. That's threaded. And then now it needs to come down.
Okay. Have fun with that. I'm glad you're back.
There we go. Yeah. Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, so YouTubers, I'm going to put up a video of this bear
right next door
us.
to our house.
Right next door to our house. It's crazy, and it happened last night, babe?
It happened last night. She sent it to me this morning, and gosh.
I wish I had the other one to put up, not the bobcat, the mountain lion. You know, I've always thought of bobcats.
Wild.
We had one bite our Doberman. I mean, I shocked our Doberman lived through it. It was bleeding out everywhere. But anyhow, when I saw the mountain lion next door, they make bobcats look like kitty cats. These things are crazy. When she was strutting her stuff, walking around the side of the house, I was like, holy shit, I would not want to run into that. But this bear is almost, I don't want to say cute.
The bear is pretty cute. I was just going to say he's cute.
I'm going to go put it up real quick. It's cool.
It.
Talk to Dan about stuff.
My parents just had a bear walking around their driveway, Savvy says. Woof. Oh, goodness. Let's see here. I had it. Dan, he says, the same guy who was asking a question earlier. I have in my will if my kids. Oh, this is just a comment. I have in my will if my kids start arguing about stuff, then the stuff is to be sold and the money donated to some charity. But he did have another question. Oh, can I put my home in a trust if I still have a mortgage on the home? And can I put my part of an LLC into a trust? That's a good question.
Yeah. The answer to the home is definitely yes. The answer to the LLC just depends on if there's an operating agreement.
Okay, did you hear that, Todd? Yes to the home, and on the LLC, it just depends on your operating agreement. Oh, wow, 2 lines cleared, okay. Good. Oh. Yeah, Cobb, you should be coming up next. Hang tight.
Gruesome.
Yeah, you got to.
Good afternoon. Thanks for
People will
calling
be like,
Tom
how
Martino's show.
long? Da da da. Here, kitty, kitty, need to buy some little biskies for your nighttime visit. Oh gosh, did you see? You saw the bear video, right?
Oh no.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, you got it. What's your name? Sorry that happened to you. But we're gonna get you some help. We'll get you some help. So hang on for me. There might be a little bit of a wait time, so I just ask that you be patient, okay? Thanks so much. Yeah, come on. Apologies for the wait. We're gonna get to you as soon as possible, okay? We're gonna get to you as soon as possible. Hold on.
Oh, the LLC is with his son. That's interesting, Dan.
Mm-hmm. So they probably, I'm guessing they don't have an operating agreement. But yes, it is possible to put an LLC share into a trust.
Got that, Todd? You should call Dan McKenzie. Dragon, another fantastic yoga class last night and this morning.
You're sick.
Mark was crying this morning, yoga tears.
As you should be. It's yoga. It's terrible.
Check your hot tub for bears. Oh my gosh, come on. Well, we have a cover on ours. There's a bear in there. Oh my gosh. Especially in Denver. Ooh. Mark better hurry up. Oh, there it is. See it? I will be giving Dan a call for a trust. Definitely, Todd. He's great. I'm going to run and grab him. I'm not starting the show.
Yeah, it's getting close.
Stressing me out, mister. Do you need more water?
You're not that close.
Bring in the snack box.
Okay.
$15 seconds here, guys.
Tuesday at 4, new report from police: road rage exploding in Colorado. How do you handle it when it happens to you? And what more should be done to stop it? Join me at 4.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. You know what we do. We solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. We try to make your life just a little bit better. You've been ripped off or taken advantage of. We have recovered over $300 million. Listen to that number. That's more than most law firms. $300 million in cash, merchandise exchanges, refunds, and that doesn't even include folks that simply listen to the show, heard advice, and did not get themselves into an issue to lose money. Whether it's a contractor and paying up front, whether it's a bad dentist, which we've actually had calls on, whether it's a bad landlord, maybe there's asbestos in your apartment and no one's helping you out. Well, now you have a place to go. That is 303-MARTINO. That number works on and off the air, and that's important. If you run into an issue or you're talking to your neighbor or a friend or a coworker and someone ripped them off, you simply say this, 303-MARTINO. They can call it right then and there, leave a message, we'll get back to them, and we'll help them out. We've got a list of people at referralist.com that help us shoot problems down. That's what they help us do. Honestly, one of them, Dan McKenzie, in studio with me. Dan, I love when you're in. I love having attorneys in. You specialize in basically end of life. Is that a good way to put it? Or
Yes,
start of life?
I say any situation where you need some help. It could be an incapacity event. It could be that you've passed away, but incapacity more common than people realize.
Yeah, so any questions on a will? One of the things he said first hour that still is mind-blowing to me, only 30% of people have a will. I just can't even imagine that. How many people do you think actually have a trust?
Oh, gosh. I mean, that's a fraction of that.
A fraction of that.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, oh, man, when do you generally get involved? When does the average call come into you? Is it something like we just had kids and now we got to think of a will? I mean, what is that first call?
That's a very common situation. And then probably the other one is just people who are kind of hitting retirement age and have, if they do have a will, it's, from when the kid was born as a baby and now that kid's 30 and they've got a will assigning a guardian to that person.
Real quick, I want to talk about something. Some people don't like talking about it, and I'm not referring to you. I'm talking to more or less listeners. But as you get older, people don't realize a lot of people, I don't know what percentage of the population, but I bet it's about a third end up in long-term care.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit.
Right.
So, I mean, your chances of ending up in long-term care are pretty high. I mean, that's just the way it is. And a lot of times if you have assets, there's what we call a look-back period. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have a house, you live in there, you get put into long-term care, your spouse has already passed away. That asset, if it hadn't been transferred or put into a trust properly or sold or something, the actual federal government or the state, Medicare, for example, could come after that asset. And that look-back period is different per state, right?
Yeah, it's actually Medicaid. So
Medicaid,
Medicare does not cover long-term care, which people don't realize. They think, I've got Medicare, I'm good if I need some sort of long-term care solution. And it only covers, a couple months worth of care. So if you're in a situation where you're going to need years of care, obviously, that's a big issue for
So,
all
so
of us.
ultimately, what happens to that third of people, or not necessarily the third of people, but a good fraction of them, when they get older and they have to go to long-term care, in order to qualify for Medicaid to pay for that long-term care, they basically can't have any assets because it's not only income, but it's also assets when it comes to Medicaid, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So if you're using Medicaid, like our earlier caller, for covering just basic events, they don't count assets anymore, thanks to the healthcare law.
Yes.
They're only looking at income. But if you have to go to long-term care, yes, they're looking at assets, and they want you. If there's some different provisions for people who are married. We don't want to impoverish spouses, but the famous rule is you got to get down to about $2,000 of assets before you qualify for Medicaid.
So before Uncle Sam will pay for the long-term care, you have to virtually have nothing. Like you said, $2,000 in assets.
Right.
So look-back periods, explain that. My understanding is this. If I transfer my house to one of my kids because I know I'm going to end up in long-term care, or I just don't want to risk that I do, and I want to leave something to my kids.
Right.
I transfer it to my child, and they own it. I still live in it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I die or croak in 3 years, the government still could come after that asset, right? Or the state.
They look back 5 years at any transfers out of your estate for less than fair market value.
So 5 years.
Yeah.
That's the look-back period.
Yeah, and if I gave away a house that's worth $500,000 and they're saying, well, that could have covered, 3 years worth of care, you're going to be, you're not going to be able to get coverage for 3 years. If it's, it depends on the amount you gave away.
And that's the scary part. Think about that. It's not necessarily like a bankruptcy trustee that's going to attempt to claw that money back.
Yeah.
They're going to penalize you and say, you know what? We're not going to pay for your long-term care for that amount of years because you did a fraudulent transfer.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not a fraudulent transfer. It's just like, hey, you could have kept this and you used it to pay for your care, and we're not here to, help your kids be enriched.
So what happens to people in that circumstance? I mean, honest to God, what happens to people? This is a gruesome question.
Yeah.
What happens to people that don't qualify for Medicaid? They don't really have any relatives or kids, and they have no way of paying for anything. Is that our homeless population at some point? Who are these people?
Yeah, honestly, I don't really know what the support level is at that point, but I'm not seeing a bunch of homeless people that are elderly and infirm. So
I don't know what happens to them.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not good.
Any assets that obviously they're probably going to lose everything.
All right. Any questions you have for Dan across anything he does? I mean, that's just it. 303 Martino. I'll let you know when the line's open. Meanwhile, Jiffy Lube issue from yesterday. So this one drives me a little crazy. We're going to get an update on it, but Tim called. He goes to Jiffy Lube. I did not know this, but they do windshield repair. I had no clue they did windshield repair, but sure enough, it's on their website. He has it done, but he doesn't have it done that day because they ran out of epoxy or whatever they fix these windshields with. So they say, we're sorry, but when you come back, we're going to go ahead and fix that chip for free. So he comes back. They attempt to fix it. They do a horrible job. They get that epoxy not just where it's supposed to be to fix the chip, but they get it on his paint. He has no idea how to remove it from the paint. He thinks it might chip off. But the part that drives me crazy was not the mistake. He has tried to call him numerous times, and no one will call him back to tell him what to do. It's like the business, Jiffy Lube, has no idea what to tell the guy. Maybe they don't know how to fix it. But regardless, they should be doing something. So what is the update, Tim? We called over there yesterday, and we left a message, and I'm hoping you heard back from them.
No, haven't heard from them.
You know what? And see, this is where I don't want to go back to it yesterday. And I'm going to say Suzanne and Kelly were right. I wanted to blow them up and use my own tactics yesterday. They said, well, hold on. We just reached out. Let's give the company 24 hours. Go ahead, Suzanne.
Kelly, did they get back to you?
I actually just called
We can't
them.
hear you.
Go ahead. Say it again,
I
Kelly.
actually just called them.
Yeah.
For the second time
And
because
no
I
one's
did
in?
call them yesterday. No,
Ah.
I spoke with Alexa,
Again?
who is the manager.
Oh, good.
And she said that her operations manager is very aware of the situation and is taking care of it.
Well, but no one's called him.
No one has called Tim, no.
Tim, so let me understand this. The operations manager is taking care of it, but Tim, you haven't heard anything from them.
I haven't heard from them.
Not one thing. Have you heard from the actual store that did it in Longmont, the Jiffy Lube?
No.
So you've heard from nobody, but you have talked to people over there, but no one calls you back, including, who did you talk to, Kelly?
I talked to Alexa, the manager, not the general manager, which I assume is over the other storms or the stores
under
in the
all
region.
the stores.
Channing, yes.
Yes, but
Which
no
is
one, once again,
whom
Tim,
Tim was working with.
Tim, once again, I just want to clarify to everybody listening, not one person at Jiffy Lube, not one person has called you back.
Correct.
And Kelly, just clarify one more time, the operations manager, according to the store manager, is well aware of the situation and it's being handled.
Correct.
Boy, there's a breakdown in communication here. If you really look at both sides to this, here's the caller, Tim. No one's contacted him, and he's been trying to get in touch with him for a week. We reached out yesterday. Say it again.
By the way,
yes.
I also had to call them twice because the first time she hung up on me.
And just curious, Kelly, what number did you call at that Jiffy Lube? What number would that be?
303.
Yes, 303.
772.
772.
3562.
3562. And whom is the general managers or operation managers? Who, because apparently he is well aware of the situation and is handling it. Who is that?
So Alexa would not give me the name.
Oh, so Alexa, the store manager, will not share the person that's fully aware of the situation and handling it with us. Now, is everybody listening to what I'm saying? Am I digging in a little too deep to make a point? Probably. But they suck, in my opinion. Now, listen, thank God we live in the U.S. still, and I can have an opinion. In my opinion, Jiffy Lube sucks. In fact, I'm afraid they're going to go back to the old days of when they would pull cars around, pop the hood, charge you $40 for an oil change, and not do a damn thing. Is that what's going on? I don't know. I'm just guessing. Based upon their lack of communication, I don't know what quite to do. But I think one thing that'll help. What is her name again? Alexa?
Her name's Alexa.
So,
And by
Alexa,
the way, she did say that she considers this, she's going to contact him.
Wonderful.
And that
I'm sorry, Tim, is your phone ringing? Hold on, Kelly. Tim, is your phone ringing right now on call waiting?
No.
Okay, keep going, Kelly.
And she did indicate that she considers the matter closed and asked me not to call back.
Oh, the matter's closed and we shouldn't call back. The matter... Listeners, listen to what I'm saying. Alexa's saying the matter's closed. The person that's handling it, she won't give the name to, the operations manager that at this point I don't know if actually exists, and Tim hasn't received any calls. Here's what I'd like. If you would politely, and we do this for a reason, here's the reason I give businesses phone numbers out. You're not going to believe this, but it's true. I personally do it because I believe it helps them. You know why? Because it's a live review. They're being talked about. The owner of this Jiffy Lube, not the operations manager that does or does not exist, nor Alexa, who apparently is a store manager that considers the issue done, but the actual owner might actually hear this at some point, and they might go, wow, you know what? I had no idea Alexa sucked that bad. I had no idea I had a store manager that wasn't handling complaints. And I had no idea I had an operations manager that sucks even more if he actually has an operations manager. So here's what I'd like you to do is call up, be nice. If you're not nice, the point doesn't get through, but ask them. Say, Alexa, how is this closed? You won't give the operation manager's name, who apparently is well aware of it and is handling it. And beyond that, no one's called Tim. Not one person. Not one single person for about a week. So call and be nice. And then give me the feedback from these guys. It's Jiffy Lube. It's the one in Longmont. I don't want you to confuse them with every other Jiffy Lube. But I'll tell you what, if I owned a Jiffy Lube franchise right now and I was listening to this show, I'd call these people too. See what they're doing? Do you see what they're doing? 303-772-3562. Ask for Alexa. 303-772-3562. Suzanne, you can hit star what in order to block your number if people...
It's either 69 or 67. I forget
whatever it
already.
Is. If you want to block your number, Google it. But honestly, do us a favor. I want to help Tim out. 303-772-3562. I took the different tact yesterday. And now I want to solve this problem my way, and we're going to see if it gets solved. Jiffy Lube, I highly suggest you wake the hell up and take care of Tim. The guy's not a bad guy. You screwed up. You admitted it. You have no fix for it. No one calls him. What are you going to do, Jiffy Lube? What are you going to do? Tell us. Tell the people that are going to call you right now. Please, we're trying to help you out. Would the owner of Jiffy Lube in Longmont please call Alexa, call the GM if you actually have one, and try to get someone to call Tim. 303-772-3562.
Do you need your watch repaired? Hi, I'm Scott Matthew with Matthews Fine Watches and Jewelry. As the largest watch repair center in Colorado, we are factory authorized for most brands. We are excited to announce that we are now the authorized service center for Jaeger-LeCoultre and Panerai. As always, we service all major brands. Just to name a few, Rolex, Cartier, Tag Heuer, and many more. Matthews, we have time for you.
Matthews Fine Watches and Jewelry, located in the Highlands Ranch Town Center, or online at MatthewsFineWatches.com.
K&H, I love these guys. If you had hail damage, or maybe that tornado, that was crazy. That thing went through Highlands Ranch. But if you have any issues with your house, they go from the roof down. So not only they can do your roof, but they can do the siding. If you had hail damage on any of your doors, they can do it all under one insurance claim. Work with your insurance company, and they always do it right. That's what I love about them. And this part is unbelievable. You know how long K&H has been around? Since 1956. Imagine that. There's a company, if you ever have a warranty issue, they're going to be around. I love these guys. Call K&H or check them out at khwindows.com. They'll come out, do a free estimate, check your roof, see if there is damage, look for that siding damage. khwindows.com or 303-421-7100. Here's an attorney I love. I talk about John Fuller all the time. When we got T-Bone coming back from Sam's Club, after we got back from the ER and all the bad things, Suzanne broke her nose. It was horrible. Lady was screaming at her kids in the back seat, ran the red light, T-boned us. My God, could have killed us. Thank God we're okay. But John Fuller held our hand through the entire ordeal. He told us, I'll be straight with you, he told us how to maximize the claim. We had real damages. We were in the ER. We couldn't work for a little bit. We had absolute real damages, and he collected every single nickel he could get from that other insurance company. They went to policy limits on that. 100% policy limits John Fuller got. Then, fast forward about a year, our daughter, I-25, guess what? She was rear-ended, car totaled, injuries, policy limits again. You want an attorney that you're going to work with, not one of these huge firms. You get someone different every time you call, not the big ass or whatever you want to call them. We're talking about a real attorney you'll deal with through the entire thing, and you're going to love the outcome. That's John Fuller. My personally injury attorney can be your personal injury attorney at myaccidentlawyer.co, myaccidentlawyer.co, or put John's number in your phone, 303-597-4500. Now, Harris Family Law. I don't care if it's adoption, if you're thinking of a divorce. We were talking earlier in the show about their early neutral assessment. That's where they'll give you an idea of what a divorce would look like afterwards. Maybe you don't want to talk to your spouse about it yet. You want to know financially where you're going to stand, where the kid's going to go. You've got 100 questions. These guys will tell you what the divorce will look like if you go through with it and file. But if you're trying to adopt a kid, they got the perfect attorney for you. They've got over 25 family law attorneys. Some specialize in divorce. Some specialize in adoption. You get the idea. You're going to get the right attorney. You're going to work directly with them. Rich and Lisa Harris, they're great people. 303-515-5000. And if you're thinking of anything along family law, if you go to harrisfamilylaw.com/webinars, they have got hundreds of webinars that cover almost any topic. It's free information, stuffs like gray divorce, child adoption. These are free videos you can watch that are very educational. 303-515-5000, harrisfamilylaw.com.
I'm here with Sean O'Keefe and Dan Blair, Senior Wealth Advisors at Summit Wealth Strategies and hosts of the Retirement Summit radio show. Guys, taxes can be a big hurdle for someone who wants to sell a highly appreciated asset like a small business or real estate, but you have a strategy that can be a real game changer for dealing with the capital gains. Tell us about it.
Yes, really, this strategy allows a seller to potentially defer all the taxes on the capital gains so we can keep what...
Do you practice in YO?
In Wyoming?
Wyoming?
No.
Do you have any recommendations?
I usually tell people to go to estateplanning.com. It sounds very generic, but it's actually run by an organization that I'm a member of, and you can do a search by city or zip code.
Todd, do you hear that? Estateplanning.com is a good place to go to find someone in your area to help you with your trust. Let's see here. MR, I'm going to ask your question on the air about beneficiary deeds.
Hello, Jiffy Screw. How can I help you? This is Alexa. Well, I just left there about 10 minutes ago and my tires fell off and my engine seized up. Well, I consider this matter closed. What a moron. What a moron. You know, I love that. I love when people consider shit closed. Wouldn't life be that great?
This matter is closed.
Your teenager comes up to you and says, "Oh, I'm sorry I wrecked a car, Dad, but I consider this matter closed." Okay.
That Adeline would say that.
Yeah. Hey, we caught you. Listen, I know you busted a smoking pot, but let me tell you, Pops, this matter's closed.
That's awesome.
What balls? What balls?
Troubleshooters opened that matter right back up.
Holy crap.
So think about that.
I'm thinking about it.
Line 4, and then remember an in-house. But you're doing pretty good.
I think I'm good on in-house.
Yeah.
What do I have left? Like
Please go to Yakov.
Water Pros. I told him.
Yakov Smirnov.
888-888 Duran and Water Pros.
Would you name your kid after a liquor? I know, that's who I was thinking of.
Well, his first name's Jackson Daniel. That's cute.
We have Jack Daniels.
Jackson Daniel. He went by Jackson.
His dad named him after his favorite drink, Jack Daniels.
Would you name your child after Cosmo Kramer?
Shut up. My kid's middle name is Cosmo.
No. That was our dog's name.
So Shannon had a great vacation, not. I said most
Shannon's never happy.
Most
I
people
swear.
come back from vacation recharged and glowing. Not Shannon.
Not Shannon.
He's never happy.
He came back more pissed.
Trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
Hey, Suzanne, who am I? Who am I? I consider this matter closed.
Jiffy Lube.
Can you imagine Alexa? She considers it. Alexa, whatever. Alexa, why don't you shut up? You know, here's the deal. It's not closed. You guys screwed up the car. You won't even give the name of your boss. You do have an owner out there, Alexa, and what I'm talking about is a Jiffy Lube that considers the matter closed after they possibly ruined a guy's car. I don't know. The guy's called numerous times. They won't call back. We've called numerous times. But Alexa, 303-772-3562, she considers it closed. You know, I was thinking like my kid, oh, Dad, I'm sorry I wrecked the car, but I consider this matter closed. Oh, yeah, you caught me with a little weed, Dad, but matter's closed.
Case closed, Mark.
Case closed. Oh, I failed gym class, but too bad, Dad. Case closed. What are you, a moron, Alexa? Honest to God, are you a moron? You consider it closed. It's not your car that got ruined. You dummy. God. Where do people find managers like that? When I had my 5 Goodyear stores, if I had some moron manager that told a customer that, I'd fire him in front of the customer just in grins. It's crazy. No customer service there. Zero. And then, Kelly, one more time, when it came to the GM, who did she say? What was the guy or girl's name that was handling it and was fully aware?
So the person who talked to Tim was actually Channing, who is the title of general manager.
Okay.
Alexa has the title of store manager, and then there is an operations manager who she did not give me the name of.
So no name of the operations manager.
Correct.
No name.
But he's aware of it, and he's taking care of it.
He's aware of it. He's handling it. And yes, I do exist. I'm Pinocchio. I am a little boy. You know what, Alexa? Kiss my ass. Honest to God, get some customer service, call your owner, call your operations manager, and let them know that Jiffy Lube in Longmont has now been a topic of this show for 35 minutes. Listeners, when lines free up, please let me know when you call 303-772-3562, and I promise I will chill out now. But let me know what they have to say. Let me know if Alexa tells you, I consider this matter handled. Jerk. All right. Let's do this. I'm going to go to this call. You've been waiting a long time. Yakov, what a name, man. That's Russian, right?
No.
What is Yakov? What is it?
Ukrainian.
Ukrainian. Well, you know, peace be with you, man. That's a horrible thing Russia's doing right now. But what's going on with your issue, sir?
I'm an American, Ukrainian born.
Got it.
I lived here for over 30 years.
Yep.
And I'm having issues with Monica Place, where my home is since 1996.
What is it called? What is it called?
Monica Place.
Monica Place. On Bellevue. Is it apartments?
It's a condominiums right at the end of Monica and Hampton.
Do you own the condominium or you rent it?
I do own my unit.
So you own your unit, so your problem must have an issue with either the CAM, the property, the common area, or the HOA. What is your issue?
Whatever it is, since the time I moved in, we have an issues with HVAC. We always deal with cold in the winter and heat in the summer.
Hey, Yakov, I'm going to go out on a limb and try to guess what's going on here. First of all, each building has its own unit. You don't have your own HVAC unit, right?
No, it's a centralized.
Yeah, so is it a boiler system?
We have two systems. One boiler belongs to the covered north part of the property. The one covers the south part of the property.
What? So does the boiler run the air conditioner as well, not just the heat, right?
Yes, both. So it's a cooling tower that.
Yeah, I get it. I know how it works.
The heater stuff.
What year's that building? Like 80s? How old is it?
It's built in 1970.
1970. So, man, here's the deal. We get kind of calls like this a lot. You know, once they change over from heat to cold, that's pretty much it. It's not like you can do it on the fly. You understand that, right?
No.
What do you mean, no?
Because whatever it is, so how long will it take to switch it over?
Yeah.
Fine. But it doesn't mean that it has to take months and years.
No, you're absolutely right. Now you realize you and the other tenants, or I'm sorry, the other property owners are actually going to end up, flipping the bill for this. If they do a special assessment, I don't know what your HOA fees are, but let's say they're $1,000 a year, and this is a $100,000 fix. They're going to hit you guys with a special assessment and spread it out, most likely.
Since it's not something that happens suddenly, we could be well prepared for it because it's a lingering issue.
Yeah, it just won't go away. I don't think they have the money. Who is the property maintenance? Actually, you know what I'd like to do, Suzanne? Yakov, I know you've been holding for a while, but I want to get one of our experts on, our property manager. Let's see if we can't reach out to him. Yakov, I know you might have to get back to work. When we get the expert, we can bring you back up and call so you're not sitting there holding. But I want to get somebody up to help me explain to you most likely what's going to happen. I would also like, Kelly, if we could ask him his docs from his HOA. if we could get whatever he has for property management or the HOA.
Well, I think what he's frustrated at is they keep canceling maintenance appointments to get this handled, and now the property managers are not communicating with them, and he needs help with that.
I'm guessing
I think
they
we
need
should
a
throw
new
that
unit.
at Smarty Marty and have him harass them about getting some communication for these folks who are roasting in their place right now with it being almost 100 degrees out in Denver.
You know what? I love that idea. I love exactly what you said. Smarty Marty can cut through and figure out at least the lack of communication, but more importantly, I'm guessing it's time for a new unit, and the money is simply not there. But let's figure that part out. Let's go that route. Send it right over to Marty. By the way, guess who's going to be in studio Thursday?
I'm so excited.
I can't believe it. Marty has solved so many problems for our listeners. He gets down, he gets his hands dirty, his feet dirty, his butt dirty, he just gets dirty. And he's going to be in.
He's tenacious, Mark.
He's going to be in Thursday.
It'd be fun.
He's going to be in Thursday. I can't freaking wait to see him. We see Marty occasionally, but never in studio. All right, we're going to have one line open. I got to take a break. Juan's got a slumlord, a vandalized AC. Who's been waiting the longest? 12:03. Pat, I promise you're next with that vandalized AC unit. And then Patrick's got an interesting one. He needs help quitting smoking, and I have the perfect remedy.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Leland Conway at 2, 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm.
Good news for folks over on the west end into the Highlands I-70. Both east and westbound lanes at Genesee Park are completely reopened. We are still seeing some heavy traffic. Should be clearing up before we hit the afternoon hours. Into downtown I-25 northbound, looking at speeds in the 30s and 40s between Alameda and Colfax. Up on the far northwest end, Highway 36 eastbound, just east of Cherryvale Road overpass. Looks like we've got road service collapse with roadway reduced to one lane. Stop and go traffic back from Table Mesa Drive. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, expecting isolated thunderstorms later today. The current temperature is 93 with your Impact Traffic and weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Big deals on better sleep are here early. It's Black Friday now at Mattress Firm. Save up to $600 and score a free adjustable base on qualifying purchases. See a Mattress Firm sleep expert today to find your perfect bed and get 120 nights to make sure it's right.
Hey, you know how to get your wife excited? I know this gets Suzanne excited. I call Zero Res and tell her we're getting the carpets clean. You know, we got 2 dogs, 3 cats. Zero Res, these guys are absolutely unbelievable. They do exactly what they say they do. They clean your carpets with zero residue. They have this empowered water. It's actually got intellectual property rights to it. No one else can use it. It's absolutely incredible. The best cleaning I have ever had at our house was by these guys at Zero Res, and I can honestly say that. They also do tile and grout cleaning, granite cleaning, mattress cleaning, upholstery cleaning. They can clean anything you want. If you've got an office building, they do commercial cleaning services. What I love about their carpet service more than anything is how fast it dries, and you don't see any of those stains come back up in a few days like the other guys. 303-471-5150, 303-471-5150. Screaming deals going on right now. ZeroResDenver.com. Now, mymoneymyway.com. I'm going to say it again. mymoneymyway.com. You want to learn about retiring a safe way. They can tell you about annuities and other products they have. You know, Joseph is a fiduciary, and he's never going to point you in the wrong direction. He's going to show you how to get guaranteed income for life, either using your retirement money or cash in the bank. mymoneymyway.com. Tom does a great video with them. It's free to check out. They'll answer all your questions. You've heard about annuities. It's time you look into them. mymoneymyway.com.
You know, there are a few companies out there marketing.
I hate these guys. I think every one of these companies that does what this guy's talking about right now is just horrible. I don't trust any of them.
Oh, right.
I don't trust one of them. I think they're going to come back. The IRS is going to come back on a lot of them, and they're going to end up owing money. I mean, they run funky numbers. They amend taxes. Then when they amend them in order to get this 30 or 28,000 per employee or whatever it is, after they amend it, the company ends up getting, not only do they go back and they owe taxes, but beyond that, they owe all the penalties and interest.
Yep.
And this company is getting anywhere from 30 to 40% of the cut of the money they collect. I'm not saying there's no cases where it is legit, but most of them heavily advertising, in my opinion, are no good.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Could just go to your accountant. Your accountant will do it. Most of them for whatever their hourly rate is. They don't charge you, this 30% of whatever they collect. You go to your own accountant.
That my Denver real estate moguls guy is available. Did you want to talk to him? He's the property manager.
I would like to talk to him real quick, even though this guy's gone.
Okay, yeah, let me send this over to Kelly. Share contact with Kelly.
Or maybe at the beginning of the hour. Let's do it at the beginning of the hour. Because she already freed him up. I know he had to get back to work or whatever his deal was.
Okay, I'll see if he's still available.
But, I mean, think about that. That boiler system, I mean, I don't know this, but it could be made in 1970. I doubt that because I don't think they would have AC on it then, but... Is that called how do you package that? A Medicaid Protection Trust?
Medicaid Asset Protection Trust.
Asset Protection. Do you do a lot of those, Dan?
We don't. We get asked about Medicaid a lot. Those Medicaid trusts do cost some money. Usually people charge, the rule of thumb is about a couple months of what the average
well, I don't want to get into that with
around here.
Yeah, no, we're not going to talk about that part, but
Yeah.
Medicaid Asset Protection Trust, what like, when you start thinking about the assets, like if you've got equity in your house of, $400,000, I'd say, why the hell wouldn't you do it? Mm-hmm. And the other thing I'd say is, who does this really protect? I mean, if you think about it, it really protects the kids, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So who should be paying for this? Yeah, people laugh at that. I'm not. Don't.
Should be.
Hey, Dad, I want you to go out and, pay $7,000 for a trust so I don't get screwed. Maybe I'll do that. I'm just going to send my old man the bill.
For what?
For everything.
Oh.
Everything.
10 seconds,
Lunch.
buddy.
RHI.com to set up your rock-solid quote.
Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
All right, 303-1 line open, 303-713-8255, ripped off, taken advantage of. Dan McKenzie, question for you that came in. When do you actually get a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust? If you got I'm paraphrasing, but if you got $50,000 in net worth, if you got $500,000, I mean, is there a hard line there?
Not necessarily. On the upper end, maybe, because it's like, look, if you can afford to pay for it, you probably do want to, right? I mean, at the end of the day, a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust qualifies you for Medicaid, and maybe that's not everybody's first choice. It is kind of a backup.
No, but if you have, I would argue, if you got $300,000-$400,000,
sure,
I think it's well worth doing. I mean, you've got to do it, and it still goes to that look-back period, right?
Right.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. We talked about this, and you kind of giggled, but I'm being dead serious when I say it. Who does the Medicaid Asset Protection Trust generally help the most?
Yeah, it's the kids.
The kids. Yeah. So what I don't get is, why would the parents pay for it? Honest to God, wouldn't the kids pay for that?
Yeah.
Now, if my parents are listening, not them.
Right.
But every other one.
There's some weird ethical rules around that are designed really for people involved in litigation that apply to us as estate planners too, that kind of, you just got to be a little bit careful about people paying for other people's estate plans.
Yeah, but
it happens, but
in this case, it's not that big of a deal, right?
It depends. I mean, the trust might say, hey, once this person passes away, leave everything to this one kid, and if that's the kid that's paying for it, like that might happen. I mean, the kid might be like, look, if I'm going to pay for this, I better get everything.
I gotcha. I do got you there. So anybody that's got questions, let me ask you this, whether they want to call up and just get a simple will, a new couple starting out, or if they've developed some assets, or more likely, I think a lot of people fall into this category, they had their will done 20 years ago, and they might have only had one kid at the time, or the kid was under 18, or a million things, a different wife at this point, anything to update the will, to get a will, or to talk about a trust. I mean, when people call you up and have questions like that, there's no cost to that, right?
It depends. Yeah. I mean, we have certain circumstances. Yes, we have a way to help people for free.
Sure, but you can give them information no matter what.
Yes. And we got a lot of information on our website and YouTube channel and all that too. So definitely check us out there.
And then when people do sit down with you and get serious about whatever changes or whatever they want to create or talk about, you listen to what they're trying to get as their end goal, and then you develop different plans or a plan that'll get to where they want to go.
Yeah.
And then you give them a flat rate fee.
Correct.
Flat rate. So they're going to know exactly how much the trust, the will, whatever their circumstance is, they know they're not going to get a surprise bill at the end like, oh, I'm hourly, you owe me $1 million.
Right.
That's pretty cool, man. Flat rate pricing with attorneys, that's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't like hourly billing either, even if it does result in more money for me, just because I don't like the uncertainty as well.
No,
so
the
flat rate helps everybody.
If you were hiring someone, you'd want to know. I mean, just like that. So any issue you have for Dan McKenzie, 833-CO-PLANS. 833-CO-PLANS is a phone number. COPLANS.co is a website. COPLANS.co. What is that 833-CO-PLANS phone number? Do you know what that is, the numbers?
I don't.
I'd look at my phone, but I don't think it has it anymore. But 833-CO-PLANS. All right, 303-713-8255. Real quick, Pat, when you say your AC was vandalized, I mean, how bad are we talking? Does the condenser still function? Does a fan turn on? What's the deal?
Yeah, it doesn't function.
It doesn't? So, what happened to it? I mean, was it like a baseball bat? Give me an idea of what happened.
No, it's like a round hole in the bottom corner of the coil.
Like they shot it?
No, what's weird is there's another unit in front of mine. I live in a condo.
Yeah.
And theirs wasn't touched. So it had to be somebody had to do it deliberately.
What if it was like lawn mowing, Mark, and a rock hit through? That would be odd, right?
So it just punched a hole in the side of it?
Yes.
Does it look like Suzanne, like what Suzanne said, possibly a rock or something?
No, because there's a unit in front of mine. So
do you own your unit?
My daughter and I own it together.
Okay, hold on. I got an idea. 303-713-8255. We've got a lot cooking. Juan, I promise I'll get you on that slumlord. And then Darcy, an issue with a mesh system or a Wi-Fi wealth. I'm not sure what that means. And then Patrick, I am going to be able to help you quit smoking if you listen to what I say when I get to you. Hold tight.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Good news for folks over on the west end into the Highlands. I-70, both east and westbound lanes at Genesee Park are completely reopened. We are still seeing some heavy traffic. Should be clearing up before we hit the afternoon hours. Into downtown I-25 northbound, looking at speeds in the 30s and 40s between Alameda and Colfax. Up on the far northwest end, Highway 36 eastbound, just east of Cherryvale Road overpass. Looks like we've got road service collapse with roadway reduced to one lane. Stop and go traffic back from Table Mesa Drive. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, expecting isolated thunderstorms later today. The current temperature is 93 with your Impact Traffic and weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Want to save big on custom faux wood blinds, shutters, cellular shades, and more? Shop Blindster today and save up to 50% over comparable blinds from brick and mortar stores. Get custom blinds at low prices and free shipping at Blindster.com.
The Green Bubble Club, Mark, what the hell's that? I know you're asking me that. Well, Fix It 24/7 for $29 a month. You get all this. You get one visit. They come out. They'll tear apart and clean that furnace right before the season. You get a visit for the air conditioner, which I bet they'd let you use right now, where they come out and do a tune-up on your air conditioner, make sure it's top-notch. You get a visit from a plumber that flushes out the water heater, and you get a visit from an electrician that checks the panel. They do a tune-up on it. They make sure all the wires are tight, the breakers are good, and they exchange or change out every battery in your smoke detectors in the house, all for $29 a month. You got to check these guys out. That's a huge saving. FixMyHome.com is the number, FixMyHome.com.
If you're paying rent, you're paying a mortgage.
If I'm not back in time, Scott, sorry.
Come on, we all want the Sue's Major show.
Rod Stewart has 8 kids. Holy cow. Who'd have thunk? I wonder if it's all with the same lady or if he's, been through a couple marriages. His kids age from 12 to 59 years old.
Whoa.
Mark.
Yes, baby.
Rod Stewart has 9 kids ranging from 12 to 59 years old. What a span. Like when your brother
How
is
many
old enough
wives?
to be your grandparent.
How many wives?
Let's see. I don't know. A couple. Looks like. One was given up for adoption, and they reconnected when the oldest was later in life. They reconnected. First wife, second wife, looks like 2 or 3. 3 or 4. Holy cow. All my neighbors were skeptical about calling the Tom Martino. Now I know why.
Oh, who's bitching?
What?
That was Yakov. I don't know. I mean, Marty's going to call him and probably help.
Oh, my
15
God.
seconds,
We were
guys.
getting an expert on.
No, that's different. Marty.
All right, 303-713-8255. Don't forget 303 Martino works on and off the air. We got another hour to go in a second. I want to go to Patrick real quick. Then Juan, you're going to be after that. Hey, Patrick, you need help with quitting smoking. How old are you?
I'm 44.
And how long have you been smoking?
I've had a nicotine habit for about 10 years.
Oh, only 10 years. That's kind of interesting. And is it cigarettes or are you on the douche flute?
It's been like all different kinds of nicotine. I first got introduced to it. I kind of had like some mental health problems, and I kind of wandered into cigarettes.
Yeah.
And then I was introduced to chewing tobacco by this new coworker that I worked with. And then I progressed to dip, and then I did cigarettes, and then I did vaping, and right now I'm a traditional cigarette smoker.
So I smoked for, how many years I smoked, Peb?
15, I think.
Yeah, probably 15. I started pretty young. I probably started smoking at 14, 15. I don't remember. And when our child was going to be born, Suzanne quit. She smoked, and she quit cold turkey, but she was pregnant, and that was your entire motivation, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was it. You never looked back. I'm not saying you never had a puff or a cigarette after that, but you quit smoking when you found out you were pregnant, never looked back. I, on the other hand, kind of waited, or I waited as long as I could for the kid to be born, and I gave up the cigarettes cold turkey. But what I did is I started chewing Nicorette. Have you tried Nicorette?
I have a load of nicotine gum. I talked to the Colorado Quit line, and they sent me some nicotine gum.
Yep.
And preparing for this quit, I just bought more off the Nicorette website.
Patrick, what I would do, first of all, I'd buy the generic. It's all the same crap, man. You know, the one thing it did do is it gave me the hiccups sometimes, which was
a lot.
It was kind of bizarre, but it gave me the hiccups. But here's what I did, and I'm not like proud of this, man. I chewed that gum for probably 10 years.
Hey, Patrick, if you are a reader or an audiobook guy, email me at help@troubleshooter.com.
Yeah, there's some good books out there that she's read about addiction.
I have one that is really good. It's about willpower.
You know, the willpower is one thing, but to really get rid of that craving, the gum does work. And I didn't chew a lot of gum. Don't think I'm sitting there chewing that gum all the time. I might have had 3 pieces a day or whatever, but I was on it forever. But it gets you over that hump. You just kind of get used to looking forward to the gum instead of a cigarette or instead of the vape or instead of anything like that. But Suzanne's going to give you information on that book. And then the other step I wouldn't mind doing, we know the owner of the Raleigh house. Now, I don't know how much he does with nicotine, but really, he gets people off of serious drugs like opioids and crack and meth and alcohol. He really knows what he's doing. He might have some good insight. And here's the other thing. Everybody's different. Some people can give up cold turkey like Suzanne did and never look back. Other people struggle and had to wean off of it like I did. I quit cigarettes instantly, but then I chewed that gum for a long time. Everybody is different. Hold tight. We want your information, Patrick. I'd love to see you succeed. I can't stand the sight of smoke now. I hate cigarettes, hate the smell. They're nasty. I think the government should get rid of them, to be quite honest. And I know that's a horrible thing people to say, but they're basically cancer sticks. We got another hour coming up.
His son usually runs out of his nicotine gum. I mean, he just chews it and chews it.
10 years, bro.
I'll tell him that.
No, but that was it. I forgot what finally I just said. Fuck it, I ain't chewing this gum anymore. Like I said, though, I didn't have a ton of it. It wasn't like a cigarette, man. I remember after we ate, you'd have a cigarette.
I still miss cigarettes, Mark.
She does.
I go into a casino and I am like, bring it in. Bring it in.
Did you ever smoke, Dan?
No.
No.
God, I miss it.
So I got a good buddy, probably my best friend, Mike. So he gave up cigarettes. He's smoked forever. He's, 40 maybe? He smoked easily since he was 13, 14, grew up in Texas. And he decided he was going to quit by using vape. So he started doing nicotine vape. Well, all that did, honestly, he did quit smoking the sticks for maybe 6 months at one point, but he was doing the vape. But ultimately what happened is now when he's outside, he smokes cigarettes. When he's inside, he smokes a vape. He literally probably takes in more nicotine now than he ever did.
And I'm not sure it's the nicotine that's so terrible for you. It's the carcinogens in the cigarette smoke and stuff.
I don't
that's
know.
Worse.
I don't know.
Believe I'm no doctor.
I don't know. Nicotine, caffeine, I just don't know the answer. I know this. I did love a cigarette after I was stuffed.
True case. Yeah, he could, stop the cigs and go to the weed.
Go to the weed.
Then you'll be calling us in 10 years over that.
It cracks me up when, the alcoholic says, yeah, I quit drinking. I just smoke weed all day. It's like, what the fuck? I think a lot of people have done that. Although I probably rather have to deal with someone really high in a bar than compared to some drunk numbnuts that wants to fight. So, I mean, like, really, you don't see too many people high like, oh, man, I'm going to go rob that bank over there. What was Yakov's issue? What was he saying? I don't even get it.
Yakov was the one with the AC at the Monaco.
No. Where did you see he had an issue? On YouTube, or was it?
Let's see here. Smarty will be calling you. He just said, I lined the call up. He says, Smarty, all my neighbors were skeptical about calling Tom Martino. Now I know why. Marty hasn't even had a stab at the call yet. I don't know what his problem is.
Let's still try to help him out and have Marty get involved.
Yeah, and you wanted the Denver real estate mogul guy on anyway.
Yeah, I'm
Yakov
curious.
couldn't come back.
Yeah. We're going to help you even though I don't like you now, Yakov.
Switch to weed, gain 200 pounds. Great advice, MH.
Yeah, man, give me a pizza. Cinco de Mayo. We got to update some of these bullet points, man. Holy shit, some are old as hell. Let me pull up Water Pros.
I can explain why he was mad. He felt like you interrupted over him and didn't allow him to actually say his exact problem.
Well, good thing Tom didn't take the fucking call then.
And then he hung up on me.
Oh.
Well, shoot. Thanks, Kelly, for getting that over to Marty.
Well, and yes, I did. And he also didn't like the wait time. He was on for an hour and 35
Well, no one likes the wait time.
And I did come on.
Yeah, I know you did.
4 times.
Yeah, you did great.
It's all good.
Yeah, we're still having Marty reach out and try to help him.
Yeah.
We help assholes. I'm going to get a shirt. I'm going to get a shirt that says "We help assholes."
Oh my God. You still wanted to talk to Denver real estate moguls?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. If there's room and time and whatnot, he's a good guy. He's a long-time RLN.
I don't have YouTube up, but if anybody did call out to Jiffy Lube for us, would you type in there what they said? And if you didn't, well, my God, get to work. You think we just put on a free show for your enjoyment?
We're trying to figure out the video glitch.
Yes, I think I know what it is. It's crazy, but our ceiling above us, the wireless router that talks to the cameras up there, and it got moved about 3 weeks ago or whenever this started. I have no idea where they moved the wireless router. Honest to God, no idea. So I got to have a guy named Dominic come up here when he gets time and tell me where the wireless router is so I can replace it.
Well, aren't we going to remove our new Wi-Fi thing here and see if it works?
No, there's something in the ceiling that talks to that camera.
I'm talking about the T-Mobile thing, though.
It wouldn't fix this problem.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that sucked.
No video glitch here, says MH, so maybe not everybody sees it.
No, I see it. It freezes. It'll go 20 seconds and freeze just for a second. You don't miss any audio. You know, that's interesting. Maybe not everyone does see it. I never thought of that because I see it.
I don't know. It does glitch.
Yeah. It's not real bad. No. And it doesn't affect the audio, which is good.
YouTube, he's giving us hell.
Jesus. Did anybody call Jiffy Lube? Come on, guys, gals, call Jiffy Lube. This poor bastard. Here's the number again. I'll give it to you right now. 303-772-3560 Alexa. She's going to inform you that she considers the matter closed. Did you see that bear, Scott?
Yes, I did.
Isn't it cute?
Oh yeah, I mean,
It's
those
like
little black bears.
It's so cute. I wonder if that one's old enough there is no mama around, or is that still under mama's watch, you know?
No, I'm sure it's just out there on his own.
He's just a teenage bear roaming the hard streets of Franktown, Colorado, trying to make a living. I wonder if, you know what would be cool? If you could train that bear to ride a bike like the circuses in the old days. If we could capture that bear and train it to ride a bike. Haven't you seen those bears that really ride bikes? Like, no BS.
Yeah, teach him to play with the dogs.
I don't know how our dog would handle... Well, Dima would be easy. Dima would
15
want
seconds, guys.
nothing to do with it.
Now talk back anytime with our free iHeartRadio app. While streaming KHOW and the full screen player, just click the microphone to record your message. Talk back to Denver's talk station now.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's having a good day. I hope you didn't get ripped off today, and I hope we actually, if you've been listening, have helped you, either by educating you or by saving you from making a mistake, or maybe, like a lot of callers today, we get directly involved. Let's not forget about Jiffy Lube Longmont. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but 303-713-8255, that's the telephone number. Any questions you have for Dan McKenzie, he's in studio with us today, attorney extraordinaire, anything to do with wills, trusts, probates, anything you can think of, you give Dan a call. He's been on our referral list for a long time. He joins us in studio generally about monthly, and he brings a lot of education to the table. He's a great guy, great to work with. Pricing is up front. If you need a will, you just call Dan. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. 833-CO-PLANS is his number. I got to get back to Pat, though. Pat's got an issue. She lives in a condo or a townhome, and your AC was vandalized, and it's basically got a hole in it, right, Pat?
Yes.
Did you have a company come out and look at it?
Yes.
And
I
they
did
said you...
yesterday.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and he said that the unit, unless I could find a welder who could work on it, he would have to replace it.
God, I wish I saw a picture of this.
I have a picture.
Can you send me a picture of it?
Yeah, where do I send it?
You're going to send it. You want to email or text it. Hold on. I'm going to put you on hold. Here's what we're going to do. Get that over to Kelly. She'll tell you on line 2, Kelly, however you want it. I want to see that picture. Then I'm going to reach out to Bob Logan. I might reach out to George Donaldson. I want to figure out who can do it. And I even know a welder. If all it takes is a welder, but I don't understand that part, why it would just be a welder. But let's look at the picture, and then maybe we can help you out so you don't have to buy a new condenser or a new air conditioning system. Now, Juan, what is going on, man? It says slumlord. What is this landlord doing to you? How's he making your life miserable?
What hasn't he done?
Well, let's talk about what's going on right now.
Yes, the issue I've had with my landlord is he doesn't like to...
Hey, Juan, can you get... I'm sorry, you're I don't want to say you're breaking up, but I can barely hear you. Can you make your connection any better?
Can you hear me now?
God, no. It's worse. Try again, Juan.
Hello.
Okay, let's keep it there. Dragon, if you can just boost him, but whatever you can do. Go ahead, Juan. So what's he doing right now?
So basically, I haven't been able to pay rent in 2 months because I've been on short-term disability. I've not been paid for my job.
Okay.
And he has been trying to harass me for this rent. He has popped up at my house unannounced for this rent. But when back in earlier this year during the winter months, my heat hasn't been working since I moved into my apartment. And he has done nothing to fix my heat, but he never wanted to pop up at my house when my heat wasn't working. But as soon as I couldn't pay, then he would pop up at my house. And
so Juan, I got a lot to digest there, but the first thing that comes to mind when you just told me everything, the first thing that comes to mind is an attorney I used to know very well. He was on our referral list. He did tenant landlord, and we did advertising for him. He did tenant landlord, and because of the nature of this show, most of the calls we generated for him were what? Can anybody guess? They were tenant calls like yours. And tenant calls didn't make any money. And the reason is when people can't afford to pay their rent, they generally can't afford to hire an attorney. So the reason I kind of digressed and brought that up was for this reason. I get a little bit amazed when someone calls up, and you're very honest. I love that about you. And I'd like to try to help you, but you're complaining about the heat, but you haven't paid your rent for 2 months. Don't you, in your heart of hearts, find that a little funny?
No, I'm saying before this. I'm saying before this is the issue. Before the whole rent thing and me.
Well, what's your issue now? Let's go back to where I started this conversation. Have you had a 10-day notice to get out?
No, I finally got some rental assistance to pay my rent, so I'm good to stay now.
Oh, good. So you're all caught up on the rent.
Yes.
Okay.
The problem is him popping up, and he doesn't want to fix things. But you pop up when there's no money in hand, but you don't want to pop up when I'm asking you for.
I got you.
Functions of my apartment to be fixed.
I'm glad you got the rent paid because that takes away a lot of where I was going. So we're not going to go down that hole. Here's the problem: when a landlord is supposed to do something, whether it's get your water running, whether it's your hot water heater broke, your air conditioner doesn't work, which sounds like might be your case. Here's the problem. There's no way to force him to do it. There's no government agency. The police don't come out. The FBI doesn't come out. State Patrol doesn't come out and say, hey, landlord, you got to fix that. It doesn't happen that way. What does happen, though, is you can do what's called a constructive eviction. The problem with that is a lot of times that's not what the person wants to do. And what a constructive eviction means is you can actually get out of the lease without having an eviction on your record. In other words, you can evict yourself for cause. But I don't think you want to do that. What you want the remedy to be, you want the landlord to fix this stuff. But I'll circle back. There's no way to force him to fix things. There is no Department of Landlords got to do stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Can you find another place?
I've been looking, yes.
You know what we could do? In fact, Deputy Dollar, what is the biggest problem with that apartment right now? And once again, if we call up and he goes, the guy hasn't paid me rent in 2 months, that's a no-starter, but you're saying you're caught up. But what is the biggest problem right now? Is it the air conditioning? What is it?
So the biggest problem is my hot water in my shower has not been working.
So you have no hot water, like legitimately no hot water?
I've been taking cold showers, sir.
You know, that does suck, and I feel bad for you. I'm going to ask you one more time, Juan, and please tell me now so I don't learn it later. You are caught up on the rent aspect, right?
Yes, I just got my rental assistance approved, and they're getting ready to pay it to my landlord.
I love it. So, Deputy Dollar, here's what I'd like to do. Do you know your landlord's name and phone number? I don't want you to give it out on air, but you know who to call?
Yes.
So I'm going to have Deputy Dollar talk to you off air and get that information. Deputy Dollar, I just want you to appeal to this guy. This guy came on. He's got rental assistance. It's all locked up now. So going forward, Juan, you should be on time with rent?
Yes.
Let's just figure out, why can't we get this guy hot water? I mean, really, that's not that big of a deal. A hot water heater in an apartment, they're like $400 or $500 if this guy knows how to install them. And I don't mean you, Juan. I mean the landlord. I mean, this has got to be, this is not a huge thing. It's a hot water heater. So hold on. All right, Juan, just hold tight, bro. So you got the marching orders there, sir? Yes, sir. Or yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, give him a call. Juan's on one, and let's try to figure that out. I feel bad for the guy. I couldn't believe, though, at first, I thought he said he was 2 months behind. Is that what you heard?
That's what and he is. He said he just got his rental assistance approved and that he would be caught up shortly.
Hold on. When are you going to hand that money over, Juan, to that landlord?
When I talked to the Colorado Stability Fund, they said the money should be overnighted tonight. So you should have it by tomorrow.
And it goes directly to the landlord?
Yes, directly to
All right, cool. Make sure that carrot's waved when you call up, Deputy Dollar. And hopefully that's it. I'm hoping that assistance is long-term. I'm not sure. But let's try to get him hot water. That's a bunch of crap, man. You know, that is one thing you really should be able to have in your apartment is hot water. I mean, my goodness, you might be able to argue air conditioning. I don't know if it'd be a good argument today.
Hey, Mark, we
yes.
got a picture of that air conditioner from
Where is
Pat.
it? Okay,
it's in your email.
I'm going to take a break. We're going to get it up on YouTube, too, so people can see it. Here's the deal. If you go to YouTube between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Mountain Time, you can watch us. We actually talk during breaks. We do different things. We definitely have a show within the show. But when we talk about pictures or videos, a lot of times if I get a chance, I'll go run them so you can go out and see what we're talking about. I'm going to put a picture of that AC that was vandalized up. And then we're going to go from there, see if we can help her out. Darcy's got an issue. And then we also have another issue. Oh, my God. Is this a new issue with Champion Windows?
It's the same one.
Another one.
It's the same guy, Glenn, that we've been talking to.
I wonder if he's got an update, if we've got nothing. Champion Windows, in my opinion, has gone to hell. Hold on.
Research shows people ignore radio ads. While I want you to remember that Liberty Mutual customizes and saves you hundreds on home insurance, I know no one's listening, so I can say anything. I can even tell Jenny that I never stop thinking about us. Sometimes I almost call, but I only truly feel safe revealing this in the privacy of my nationally broadcast radio ad.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Frank Duran, the real estate man, how I love thee, and I mean that. When he sold our house in Castle Rock, he got us a big bucks. He's got secrets, man. I'll tell you one of them. He listed it at a lower price. He got a bidding war going, and then he prepped it right. He does cleaning when he sells your house. He sends in a professional cleaning crew. There's a lot of times he'll do a 3D walkthrough so people out of the state can actually walk through. He does everything, and he does it right, but he got us more for our model house in Red Hawk, Castle Rock than anybody else was selling our model for because he knows how to negotiate. On top of that, when he negotiated the house we bought in Franktown, he saved us a ton of money on it. Thank goodness for Frank Duran. You can check him out at frankduranhomes.com. If you're curious what your house is worth right now, he'll do a 100% free evaluation, give you an idea. There's no pressure. Frank is the nicest man you're going to meet. frankduranhomes.com. Joseph A. Lazare, he's an attorney. I hope you never need his number, and I mean that. But if you do find yourself in trouble, maybe you got popped with a DUI or shoplifting, assault, domestic violence, pretty much anything criminal, Joseph A. Lazare handles. And here's what I love about Joe. There's a little secret sauce here. He knows all the judges. He's been around so long. He knows the DAs. He knows how to cut deal. And he knows how to get in front of a jury if you're innocent and fight for you. And if you are guilty, he knows how to bargain with the DA and get you the best outcome you possibly could have gotten. Joseph A. Lazare. Write this number down. Put it in your phone right now. You never know when you're going to need it. You want to just put it in there. Put it under Joe Attorney. 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. I mean it. Get that in your phone. You're never going to know when you need it, and you don't want to Google an attorney under duress. Sheridan Auto Tech, Uncle Kevin, baby. Uncle Kevin's worked on my motorhome. Uncle Kevin has worked on our cars. Uncle Kevin has put a tire on our cars. Uncle Kevin has fixed up donated cars and helped us donate them to people that need cars. If you have a car and you need someone to maintain it or repair it, Sheridan Auto Tech. These guys are great. You're going to save money from the dealership. They can work on all makes and models. It won't void any warranties. And on top of that, their warranty is better than dealerships. What do I mean? 3 years, 36,000 miles nationwide. Did you hear that? 3 years, 36,000 1,000 miles nationwide on all repairs they do. Great people. Longevity's there. Kevin's the owner. He's in studio with us all the time. SheridanAutotech.com.
Are you a business owner who could use a few hundred?
Next appearance? Yeah. I was looking at the week of the 21st. So I have 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th wide open. But I can give you other weeks if that week doesn't work.
It looks like both 24th and 25th are very open at the moment.
You want to do the 24th? 25th is car day, so that's not a good one. You want to do the 24th?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, perfect.
I got to train. I got to show you and Kelly how to put up those videos.
Yeah, that's one thing I've not learned yet.
Folks, I will get that. I'll get the picture of her AC up before I end the feed. I might have time next break. That break I had a lot of commercials, 60s, and they were just long as shit. I'll try to get that up, I promise, next break. Suzanne, do I have it in my mailbox?
Yeah, look at it. It's weird.
I don't even have my email.
I don't know that it was necessarily vandalized. Maybe.
You mean intentionally, you mean?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not good at that stuff.
Let's see. I just want to see. Oh, my God, yeah, it popped. I don't know what a welder would do with that.
But do you think that's necessarily vandalized?
I don't know why the AC wouldn't work. Can you forward that to Bob Logan?
Yeah.
Who else? Oh, how about Todd at Apple Air? Can you forward that to Bob Logan and Todd?
I don't know if I have Todd's email.
Todd Terry.
I wonder if something blew up inside.
I don't know. I'm going to ask her, but I'm curious. I don't know why that would stop it from working. And I think Suzanne nailed it. I think they were mowing. I don't think it's vandalism. But I don't understand why it's not working.
She thought it was impossible because she said her unit is behind her neighbor's unit.
Yeah, but that's a strange. I guess someone could have walked up with a hammer or something. And you know what? A rock hitting that from a lawnmower, that's a pretty big hit. But I'm going to go back to this. I don't understand if it did any damage inside of the fins. And I don't understand what a welder would be used for. I don't understand. Freaking Jiffy Lube. So back in the day, we had a Kano Lube and Screw. Do you remember that?
I remember those guys.
That's 20 years ago, I think. A Kano Lube and Screw. Oh, they are, but they had a really bad run for a while. I haven't had a complaint on. I can't even think of the last complaint on them. I mean, it's been that long. Jiffy Lube, they pop up. I mean, they really do. This one's crazy. I mean, how not to handle a complaint when a radio show calls your business. How not to do it. We should really write a book on that. She didn't even bury it. She considered the matter closed.
That's true. But we're not going to call the customer and tell them it's closed.
What was the name of his place? It's called Monica Place. Did he mean Monaco?
Monaco. I looked it up. And they are
15 seconds there, guys.
Got it.
Hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Denver's talk station, 630 K-How.
888 Heating, the absolute best pricing. Apples for apples on any new air conditioner or furnace. 888heating.com is their website. And just go there. You want to call them up with the phone number, but if you got a bid from other people, they're going to beat it. They're great, honest people. Been talking about them forever. 888heating.com. Now, we've got a few things going here. We had a guy call up Yakov, and he lives in Monaco Place condominiums, or were they townhomes? I just don't remember.
Condominiums.
They're condominiums. So I wanted one of our experts on. Now, Yakov isn't very happy with us. I have no idea why. We were getting an expert on, and we were putting Marty on it to try to solve his problems, but we're still going to try to help him because that's the kind of people we are. I'll leave it at that. But Sean, I'm gonna kill
Jillian.
Sean Jillian. Sean, how are you doing, man? Sean is with Denver Real Estate Moguls. They do a lot of, they rent out to people. They're property management company. Sean, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's Gilliland.
Gilliland.
Pardon me, Sean.
Let's fix that on the
No
board so
problem
I
at
see
all.
it. So, Sean Gilliland, let me ask you something. I don't know if you ever heard of this place, but Monaco Place Condominiums. A guy called up, he owns one. They have a boiler system for the buildings, and most people there own their own units. I don't know how much is rental, how much is not. The place was built in 1970. I'm throwing a lot of data out here for a reason. He called up because the air conditioning system simply hasn't been working, and the property management company, remember, it's not an apartment, these are condos, is not getting back to him. They're really not helping any of the tenants get this fixed. My guess was the system's so old it might not even be able to be fixed. So where I want to bring you into this conversation, I would think you have managed older places that possibly have had a boiler system, maybe not, or something that is common area, like a boiler system to a building that needs to be done, but the HOA or the management company doesn't have enough money to actually get it done. Generally, what would happen is they would do a special assessment to raise the money, then get it fixed, correct?
Yeah, you're correct about all of that. He needs to find out if the board is doing anything, because the HOA management company can only take direction from the board. The board's only, resolution is to fire the HOA management company if they're telling them to fix it and they're not fixing it.
And they're not fixing it.
He needs to talk to the board.
So, Yakov, if you're listening, we're still going to have Marty reach out. And Marty, if you're listening, step one, he's got to talk to the board. Go ahead, Suzanne.
Well, Marty reached out. This is what Marty just emailed. Consumer changed his mind. He does not want me to help. He feels property management won't give a rat's ass about Tom Martino and doesn't want me to bother.
Okay, Yakov, you know what? You're a piece of crap. Okay, there. That's my opinion, but you're a piece of crap. So, you know what? Don't call the board. Don't handle it right. Take out your issues on us when we're trying to help. So you just go ahead and do that, Yakov or Jackoff, whatever your name is. So go ahead and go there. I'm sorry, Sean. Go ahead. He really pissed me off.
I got you. But, I was just going to say, air conditioning's not uninhabitable, by the way. That's not a issue of habitability.
But it doesn't matter because he owns his own unit like most of them anyhow.
I'm saying just for future reference and stuff.
Yeah, I know. And what I was going to tell him, which is driving me insane, and I kept trying to tell him, if this place was built in 1970 and it's a boiler system and you have problems for years, it probably needs to be totally redone, and it's going to cost a ton of money. Wouldn't you guess that, Sean?
Oh yeah, it could cost up in $25,000 or something, and that's what I mean. The board probably knows what's going on, and they've either made a decision to kick this can down the road, maybe they've made a decision to fix it. He doesn't know about it. That's why he needs to attend a board meeting. He needs to get in contact with the board members and find out what's on there.
Hey, Sean, just because it was another caller we had on, I'm curious about this. Hot water, that is something a landlord has to deliver, right?
Absolutely. And if they're not, what they need to do, the tenant needs to write a letter, a written letter.
Well, okay, I don't.
An email and probably suffice.
Yeah. No. I don't want to go down that road. I understand all that.
Right.
This particular guy, he was fighting a battle at the time he wasn't going to win because he was 2 months back. But he's going to be caught up on rent. But even so, the guy should have hot water. And he has reached out. I think the landlord, once he gets paid, is going to get that fixed. Whether that's the right way, well, it's not the right way to handle it. The guy should have hot water, period, and the landlord should go through an eviction process if he doesn't want the guy there, but the guy should have hot water. But because he owes money, I just don't think the landlord's going anywhere on that. What are some of the other...
landlord should fix it either way, though.
Oh, absolutely the guy should fix it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Sean, I appreciate it. What is rentals doing right now? You guys rent out a ton of property. Are they up, down, or are they leveled, let's say, compared to last year?
I would say, things really went up after, the pandemic kind of was over.
Sure.
But, things really went up at that time. Things have leveled out a little bit. We still are seeing minimal price increases. I would say rentals this summer are a little bit harder to get rented, though.
But they're pretty, okay, so the supply is opening up.
A little bit, yeah.
You know what's funny? I look right around here in the tech center. I don't know if you've been in studio with us, but there is so many high rises or mid rises popping up all over. It's crazy. I don't know how they're going to fill all these units. I mean, it's really nuts, man.
We're like 4 million properties short in the United States or something like that still. So we just have the millennial generation's a large generation.
Hey, it is, man. Hey, I appreciate it. Sean, Denver real estate mogul, 720-841-1022. If you're looking for a place to rent.
1021, Mark.
Or 1021. If you're looking for a place to rent, they can help you there. And here's the other thing. If you're a landlord and you own a duplex, just a single house, whatever, these guys can help you and do all the legwork for you. They can be your management company. They're honestly good guys. 720-841-1021. Now, let's see here. Issue with property management company. I wanted to go back to Pat real quick. Hey, Pat, with this AC, I saw the pictures of this. Are you sure the air conditioning unit doesn't work right now?
Yeah, it hasn't. It isn't working.
Are you sure it's due to what I'm looking at? In other words, did it work right before you saw that?
No, because I just turned it on like 3 days ago.
Okay, well, here's what I'm trying to, looking at it, and we sent the pictures over to some experts that are in the biz. Looking at it, I would assume your air conditioner, it wouldn't have damaged your air conditioner from working and cooling if it was already working and cooling.
Well, because that black stuff there is like what do they fill it with? Some oil
okay.
or
So
something?
it hit something on the inside where the Freon came out.
Yeah.
Okay, so the guy that came out said that.
Hey, Kelly, call Bob Logan. He's going to come on and talk about this.
Yeah, hold on. We got Bob Logan that's going to come on, and hopefully he'll have some ideas. I know one thing he'll do. He'll get to the bottom of what's going on. I have no doubt about that. 303-713-8255. I got to take a break. Jeff, Brewski's bar owner. Jeff. Why does that sound familiar?
Well, remember the gal called about her employee. She said she was
Oh,
fired.
Melissa.
Like they had a relationship.
I
there was
remember
all
that.
kinds of accusations on that call.
But then it was almost like a bad neighbor call. But then the next day,
another employee called,
a
said she
current
was
employee
lying.
called and said Melissa was just full of crap.
Correct,
They dated for a
Patricia.
while.
Patricia
called. So we're going to see what Jeff, he's the owner of the place. We're going to see what he has to say. What was her main problem, though? Oh, I remember.
She was like fired for.
She said she got fired for not having sex with the boss.
Yeah.
That's exactly what she came on the air for.
Sounded ridiculous.
All right, hold tight.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Dan Kaplis today at 4, 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by PXG, Parsons Extreme Golf.
Your normal slowdowns throughout the Denver metro for the early afternoon hours. Nothing too out of the ordinary there. I-25 northbound, some stop and go between Bellevue and 225. North into downtown, I-70 westbound. Road construction continues at York with slow traffic back from I-270. I-70 eastbound to the airport. Watch out for speeds in the 30s and 40s between Havana, and 225. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. It's another warm one out there today. Highs in the mid-90s. Chance of isolated thunderstorms as the day goes on. Overnight low of 66. Tomorrow high 87. The current temperature in Denver is 95 degrees. With your Impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Golfers, listen up. Unleash the ultimate golf experience with custom-fitted PXG clubs. Engineered and packed with cutting-edge technology and performance. A club for every swing and budget. Sure to deliver an absolute game-changing experience. Visit your local PXG store today.
You know, if you're a property owner, I don't care if it's residential or commercial, there's some words you never want to hear, and I mean it. Fire, flood, broken pipes, mold, crime scene, unattended death, meth lab, asbestos. And there's probably a lot more words you don't want to hear. But if you have to deal with any of that on your property, you need to call people that are going to take care of it. You need to call people that have all the EPA certifications when it comes to asbestos. You need people that can get in there and get rid of the water before the mold comes, or get in there and get rid of the mold if it's already there. You need people that know how to clean up after a meth lab so you can lease the place out again. You need someone that knows what they're doing and is not going to rip you off. You wake up one day, you had a hailstorm, you got water everywhere. You need American Restoration. That's who you need. Don't call anybody else. 833-7-AM-REST. Get that number in your phone. It doesn't matter, flood, fire, anything we talked about. 833-7-AM-REST 24/7. 833-7-AM-REST is a phone number, or AMREST 247, AMREST247.com.
Mark, it's the top email. It's been open, but it's the top email.
Did Bob
in
see
help.
it?
Bob's seen it. Oh, yeah. It's right there in the top email. Mark or Suze, what needs to be done when a scammer gets a hold of a Social Security number? Freeze your credit. ASAP. To unlock. So make sure you keep all your unlock info safe somewhere, or it could take months. There you go, DeChef. Go freeze your credit ASAP. And it's a pain in the butt to unlock, so make sure you keep whatever passwords, usernames, emails you use to freeze your credit or lock it for all three, Experian, TransUnion, and whoever the other one is. Yeah, I know we went to T-Mobile today to look at, or over the weekend to look at new phones, and, you know, they ran a credit report and we couldn't do it because we had to unlock our credit. It's a huge pain in the butt, but if you have all the info, it's there, DeChef, for you to unlock quickly. And then it's also nice that, well, like, my credit is locked. So if the Kohl's lady says, hey, or the American Eagle lady says, hey, you want to open up a credit card, I can just say, yeah, my credit's locked. It'd be a huge pain in the butt. No thanks, and move on. Did you see the picture? It doesn't necessarily look
I don't understand.
like it's vandalized. She said the AC wasn't working ahead of that, right?
Right, she did.
No, she did not.
Okay, she answered the question weird, but we have Bob Logan on.
She did
and
not
I already
say
sent
that.
him the photo.
Yeah.
What did she say?
She said it was working, and whatever hit that, hit something, and all the Freon came out. That's what she said.
No,
And then-
she said it wasn't working.
What do you want to bet?
Lunch.
Lunch, okay.
There we go.
That's it. That's exactly what we'll do.
I'm picking lunch. I thought her
It's going
answer
to be Del
was weird.
Frisco's or Shanahan's
No,
for lunch.
Scott, I thought her answer was weird. It's like, was she saying no, it did work before?
Yes.
Because she goes, I only turned it on 3 days ago. So
Mhm.
it's almost like she didn't know if it was ever working before it got punched. So it's, to me, that's an iffy.
I'm on Suze's side. It did
we'll
imply
find
that she had not.
I already know. There's
turned
no
it on
finding
yet.
out.
Dragon, thank you.
Yeah, I'm with you, Suze. I got you
All
back.
right. I love that.
What's that?
Dragon has my back.
10 seconds.
He's with me
What, with you where?
on that whole answer, how I understood it.
Here's what she said, the caller. She said it did work. Now it doesn't work. All the Freon
She said,
leaked out.
I only turned it on 3 days ago.
You know, if you listen to this show on YouTube, and what I mean by that is you go to Troubleshooter, or I'm sorry, you go to YouTube, then you type in Troubleshooter or Troubleshooter Network. You can hear us, well, argue.
Make mindless bets.
Here's what I heard, and I want everybody out there listening, and tell me what you heard, and then we're going to ask her. For the lady, and we've got an expert on, Bob Logan. I'm going to go to him in a second, but this is more important right now to me. So this woman calls up, Pat, and she said she believes her AC was vandalized. I put the picture up, YouTube, and then type in Troubleshooter. You can see the picture. I don't think it was vandalized, but it has nothing to do with anything. My understanding, Pat, is you said your air conditioner was working fine. Something happened to it, whether it was vandalized or a rock hit it, whatever. We see the damage. We know what the damage is, but that damage caused all the Freon to leak out, and now your AC doesn't work. Is that what you were saying, Pat?
Yes.
Thank you.
That it's the first time I've turned it on since last year.
That's what Suzanne said. But Scott, sitting next to me, said the complete opposite. He said that you said, oh, I don't even want to get into this, but I'll tell you this. You just got me lunch, Pat. Scott now owes me lunch because I was listening with my listening ears and he wasn't. But now, in all seriousness, Bob Logan, I got to ask you something, man. Did you see that picture?
Yes, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing great. Bob Logan, he's one of the owners of Plumline. Great guy, one of the largest HVAC companies in the state. We've been representing Bob and the gang for, my goodness, man, 15, 20 years, maybe even longer, Bob. Here's the dilemma. We don't know why her AC didn't work. We know that she called someone to come out, and they said it could only be fixed by a welder, so I don't even know what that means. Looking at those fins, I would think they'd have to be combed out, maybe replaced. I don't know what a welder would have to do with anything, unless if a rock or a hammer, whatever caused the damage, did something on the inside that would need to be welded. I mean, I have no idea. But the bottom line is she has no AC. I don't know if Freon is in the system or not, but we do know if she turns it on, it does not work. And we do know that something happened to the condenser. So what are your thoughts?
So the picture is kind of hard to see. It looks like somebody shot it, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But depending on whatever hit it and how far it pierced it is going to depend on the severity of the damage. Based on what I'm seeing right now, at minimally, she probably needs a condenser coil replacement. And so, but what she's saying, if there's no Freon in the system, then chances are it pierced even further. So probably needs to replace the entire condenser.
Pat, whoever came out, were they an HVAC company?
Unit.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and how much did they quote you?
$3,500
And that was for a new condenser?
for the whole unit.
Well, okay, I don't know if she knows what we're saying by the whole unit.
Well, if it's the entire outside unit, that's a steal. If they'll replace that outside unit, and refill the Freon, and that's a great price.
It's dirt cheap.
Because you're probably looking at, that's probably what we would charge just to do the condenser coil.
Hey, Pat, what is your deductible? And this is where I was kind of going. Where's your deductible on your homeowners?
It's $1,000.
So if this is truly vandalism, that would be covered. Honestly, I don't think it really matters what it is. Even if a rock hit it, somehow it got damaged. We have to say, or we don't have to say, but I assume it wasn't there before, so it was sudden. I'd be curious if that would fall under your homeowners. And we'll get Compass Insurance on, but Bob, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree, because it definitely looks like vandalism in some fashion to me. That doesn't just happen.
No, it didn't just happen. A squirrel didn't do that. I mean, something happened there, whether something kicked up a rock and it hit it, or someone hit it with a hammer or shot it with a shotgun. I mean, something happened to it.
Hey, guys, somebody on YouTube said it looked like a blowout from the inside of the unit. Bob, is that possible?
I saw the opposite, actually.
Like I said, I couldn't really see the picture that clear. It is, I guess it could be possible, but to me it looks like damage from the outside.
Yeah. Well, what's curious about that is if insurance did cover it, let's try to get Jeremy on. Hold on. Hey, Bob, I appreciate you coming on with that. I wonder if that was an insurance claim, if they would just replace the entire air conditioning. What do you think?
They probably would. most likely they would.
And then, therefore, if you guys
we've had several hail damage claims, and that's typically what they're doing is just going ahead and replacing the whole entire unit.
replacing the whole thing, and in that scenario, it wouldn't really matter if it was, $3,500 from somebody or $7,500 from somebody, because the insurance company, and Pat, what I'm getting to is you might want to use a company if you're going to be $1,000 out of pocket, no matter what. You might want to use a company that's been around forever and is going to be around forever. Like someone on a referral list like Plumline Services. So you might want to give that some thought. But Bob Logan, Plumline Services, I bet you're busy as hell, man, with this heat.
Our phones have absolutely exploded the last couple of days. So like we talk about all the time, nobody's proactive about these things.
Nobody.
And now our phones are ringing off the hooks. And so if anybody's listening and they don't think their air conditioner is going to last the summer, you better call now, because everybody in town is going to be super busy and booking out 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, my God. And I think it's going to get hotter, believe it or not. I think this is the beginning of it, dude.
It is. All the way through August, they're saying.
Yep. So, Pat, hold on. Hey, Bob Logan, I appreciate it. By the way, plumlineservices.com or 303-586-1086. Plumline, 303-586-1086. Hey, Pat, did you turn it into your homeowner's insurance?
Well, unfortunately, it's farmers.
Well,
And
I mean, whether it's farmers or not, I mean, did you turn it in?
Not yet.
Yeah, you need to call your insurance agent. We can help you if they're going to give you crap and not take care of it. But I can't think of a reason why that wouldn't be covered. That's why you pay for insurance for issues like this, and you should be $1,000 out of pocket. I mean, really, that is what this is for. Would you do me a favor and reach out when we hang up here? Reach out to your insurance company, put in a claim, and then follow up with us when you hear back from them, okay?
Okay.
And if you have an issue with that, I can get a public adjuster involved. There's other things we can do to help you fight it. And I know we talk about State Farm and Allstate and a lot of these companies that really do hold you hostage when it comes to getting insurance, because they only represent one brand themselves, where people we like represent multiple. But there's no reason State Farm should deny this claim. There just isn't. So kind of let me know what happens. Do we have your info?
Hey, Jeremy with Compass says he's available if you want to chat at him real quick. But we're getting close.
Get Jeremy on real fast. Hold on. Let's ask
Kelly.
him, Pat. Hold on. Let's ask him what he thinks State Farm will do. Greg's got a question for Dan McKenzie. Greg, what's your question?
Hi, I'm 67 years old in fair health, and I am either going to sell my home or I'm going to sell it to one of my children. I'm wondering what the advantages are if I were to move my house into a trust at my age, and do I lose the one-time exemption if I move the house into the trust?
Hey, Dan, hold on a second. I got to just because of the timing, I have to take this. So get your thoughts together. Hold on, guys. 303-713-TALK.
I'm going to listen to the podcast. That's not what that late Pat said.
What's that?
YouTubies agreed with you, Scott.
See?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, so she didn't know what she said.
She didn't know what she said.
Oh, okay. Oh, my God. She didn't. Way. Now, that's something I would say. That is something I would say.
Karma is my boyfriend.
That is, you know what? I'm going to start using that. I like that. I'm going to coin that phrase.
What? I'm going to listen to the podcast?
She didn't know what she said.
She didn't.
Okay, go ahead. Do your spots.
You know, there's certain things you should always hire an attorney for. Maybe you're an unmarried couple buying a house together. Maybe you're looking at closing on a commercial lease, selling a piece of commercial property, even just buying a house. How about a builder house you're buying directly from, say, KB Homes? You need an attorney to look over these documents. It's one of the biggest purchases you're going to make. If you're a landlord, haven't updated your leases, Bradley O'Brien is our go-to. You got to give this guy a call. Anything real estate, he's your attorney. 720-370-7388 or olslaw.com. Another great attorney, the Harris Family Law Firm. Lisa and Rich Harris. These guys got over 25 attorneys. They specialize in family law. They specialize in like adoption, divorce. You pretty much ask the question, they're going to know the answer. Over 8,000 family law cases have been handled so far. Give these guys a call with any questions you have. Free consultation, 303-515-5000 or harrisfamilylaw.com.
Here's mistake number 2.
So we've got Compass on line 7,
Yes.
or line 2, and then you have the Dan McKenzie, and that's a wrap.
That's a wrap, Jack.
Okay, Burger. Hey, Burger, we're going to call you tomorrow. I think our attorney's available tomorrow. So as long as he's available, we're going to readdress you tomorrow. If not, then worst case Thursday.
Who's that, babe?
That's the one with the ceiling falling through from the hoarder.
Holy shit,
Poor
that
guy.
was unbelievable.
His name is Chris, but his last name's Burger. Since there were so many Chris's, he's like, look, just call me Burger.
Burger.
I love burgers.
Burger time.
I like burgers.
With cheese.
Burger time.
Burger time.
That's a video game. Have you ever played Burger Time?
No.
So you would run over different levels, kind of like Donkey Kong,
Oh.
and you would run over like a bun, and the bun would drop to the
Oh.
bottom. Then you'd run over the hamburger.
That was
then
called
the
Burger
hamburger.
Time?
Burger Time.
I remember that game. Didn't we used to play that on Nintendo
Yep.
when we were kids?
Yep.
Burger Time game. That was fun.
Had the worst music. Snow White, remark blasted is politically correct. I don't know. Is it? I have no idea.
It's so stupid. I'm so sick of it.
I do. What? How about this Barbie movie? Anybody?
I don't know.
Am I the only one at least curious?
Yeah.
Come on, Dragon.
Yeah, I'd see it out of sheer curiosity. My wife and it's like,
Really?
all right,
She
we'll
loved
go.
Barbies as a kid.
Yeah.
That was her gig,
I
man.
loved my Barbies.
Yeah.
I was more of a G.I. Joe guy.
I think we'll maybe wait until it's like streaming or something for free, and we don't have to go to a theater to go see it. But
Yeah.
there's a mild curiosity to see what the heck it's all about.
There really is, man. There really is, and it looks very pink.
Yeah, and it's got Margot Robbie. I mean, come on, that certainly doesn't hurt.
They showed how many different jobs Barbie had on one of these, Entertainment Tonight. She had like 2,000 jobs, dude. Barbie was everything.
I wonder if Barbie and Ken will get it on like they did when we were kids.
Oh boy.
I know one of her jobs. She worked Colfax for a while.
That's because you made that.
It's Ho Barbie. It's Ho Barbie. Come into a
They
store
went
near you.
camping.
Barbie out.
They had a cruise ship. Not me. I was too poor for the ship, but I could dream for her.
Las Vegas Barbie. She
I still
serves
have Burger
cocktails at
Time.
night and serves cocks. Oh, wait.
Case 31 says, I still have Burger Time on my Intellivision system.
In television, that was
Good
back
grief.
Atari days. 2600, Atari 2600 and Activision.
My first child will be named Junior Baco.
Baco.
B-A-C-O? Baco? Taco? I don't know.
Baco.
That's my
What do
screen
you think's
name.
up with that? I'm still pissed off at Urich or Schmodoff or whatever his name was.
Yakov? Well,
Yakov.
Marty did say he thought he'd been drinking.
Ah, well,
So
his
maybe
last
he's
name
like
is
having
Smirnoff.
Maybe he was day drinking.
10 seconds.
Okay, back to Dan.
Enter this nationwide keyword on our website, bank. That's bank. Enter it now at khow.com. Inflation salvation on 630 KHOW.
Free water test, Paul the Waterman. We talked to him yesterday. It's really important. These forever chemicals are everywhere. He'll come out long as you're Denver metro area, Castle Rock, maybe Longmont. Get him to come out, do the free test, no high pressure. He's going to tell you what's in the water. PFASs are everywhere. Waterpros.net, waterpros.net. Grab the number, call them from there. Now, I want to go to Jeremy with Compass Insurance. Jeremy, I'm going to just ask you a quick question. I don't think there's too much to chime in on. If the condenser on the air conditioner unit outside of someone's house, it's insured by homeowners. In this particular case, I think it was Allstate. No, not Allstate, State Farm. It's damaged. We have no idea what happened. Someone might have shot it, kicked it. A rock got kicked up. No matter what, it's evident it got damaged. Maybe someone hit it with a hammer. Maybe it was vandalism. Maybe it was an accident. But it created the problem where the air conditioner doesn't work. Her deductible's $1,000. She has State Farm. I can't think of any reason why State Farm, for her deductible, wouldn't be replacing or repairing the unit.
Yeah, they're going to have to do an investigation and try and determine what is the peril, because it's a peril-based policy.
Well, let me do it the opposite way. What would the peril, what could have caused it that wouldn't be covered besides her intentionally damaging it?
Wear and tear would be the big thing.
Okay, definitely not that, and I'm just cutting that out because I've seen the pictures. It looks like someone grabbed either a shotgun or a hammer and smacked the hell out of it.
Yeah, and that would be vandalism, which would be covered. It should be a covered peril on their policy.
So, Pat, two things. Oh, my God, I am so sorry. I went to lock Jeremy in. Jeremy, I appreciate you calling Compass Insurance, home of the free check. In other words, you send them their deck pages. They're going to save you money. They're great guys, Compass Insurance, 303-996-9000. But, Pat, there is no reason whatsoever why they shouldn't handle that. So you let us know if they don't. Now, Greg, you've been thinking about this question that Greg asked Dan McKenzie. What are your answers to his questions?
The primary benefit to put a house in trust is that if you pass away and you have real estate, that has to go through a probate process. That is court. So a lot of people kind of want to avoid that. There are some other benefits of trust, too. If you're going to get rid of the house imminently, there can be some tax benefits, but usually it's about avoiding the court process.
Greg, you got a question?
Yeah. Do I lose my one-time exemption on capital gains if I put it in a trust?
No.
That's a hell of a good question. I never would have thought about that.
Yeah, there are different kinds of trusts. The most common is a revocable living trust. A revocable living trust, really, it doesn't, the tax implications are, it's really just you still, as far as taxes are concerned.
I will give you a call. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with him. The flat rate pricing, he's just a great guy. Dan, we really do appreciate you coming in. Anybody out there with any questions for Dan, you can call up to his office, schedule an appointment, tell him what you're looking for, whether it's a simple will, whether it's a complicated trust. What else, Dan? I mean, you do probate?
We do probates and trust administrations, and we have some contested matters too. So, yeah.
What's your least favorite? I hate asking you that because then you won't get calls on it. But there's got to be things most people don't like doing in your industry. What would that be?
You never want to have the contested issues, right?
They're a pain in the ass.
Can be a moneymaker for the attorneys, obviously. That's kind of the thing. But we don't like to see people arguing like that.
Dan McKenzie, law firm, 833-CO Plans. 833-CO Plans, 833-CO Plans, or you can go to coplans.co. What is your comment, Phil, on Pat's air conditioner issue?
Hey, Mark, I see that Tom Martino is putting you to work.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I own 6 homes in Arvada, Colorado.
Real quick, Phil, what's your comment on it, though? Because the music's playing, brother.
Okay, I had one that blew up on the side. It was electrolytic capacitor.
And that's what gave?
From the inside out.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to find out. State Farm will do an investigation. I'm hoping it's from the outside in, so she's covered. 303 Martino works on and off the air. Don't forget, help at troubleshooter.com. I'll see you tomorrow.
Follow Tom Martino at Real Tom Martino. And stay connected with all of us at 630 KHOW, KHOW.com, and on the iHeartRadio app. Leland Conway is next on Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Broncos country. Make plans to come out to training camp, powered by Ford, and get up close and personal with your favorite Broncos players as they prepare for the NFL season. There will be 12 practices open to the public at the Centura Health Training Center between July 28th and August 17th, all starting at 10 a.m. New this year, practices will require a complimentary ticket for entry. For more information and to secure tickets, visit denverbroncos.com/training camp today.
Why does Frank Duran, the real estate man, get top value for the homes he sells?
Because I take the personal time. Every single listing I go on, I video the property. Then I study the film, I study the competition, and literally look at the strengths and weaknesses we have versus the competition. That's how we determine the peak price.
I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino, urging you to use Frank Duran, the realestateman.com. With RE/MAX Alliance, 303-920-1622. That's 920-1622.
Every year, millions of Americans are exposed to a contagious virus.
What is this virus? It's stigma.
Stigma promotes an environment of shame,
fear, and silence, which prevents millions of people from seeking help.
But there's good news.
The National Alliance on Mental Illness believes stigma towards mental illness is 100% curable.
So do yourself and everyone a favor.
Go to curestigma.org and get tested for stigma.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
630 KHOW Denver. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.